Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
There's so many dogs.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Welcome to the Sparrow Stout on Sports on Lansing Sports Station, The Game, 7:30 a.m. Starring the Dean of Mid-Michigan Sports, Tim Stout. The Sparrow Stout on Sports is Michigan's longest-running sports radio show. From the high schools to the colleges and the pros, Tim has you covered. Give Tim a call on the Culligan Water Hotline at 517-300-4263 or send him an email at tim.stout@wilx.com. Now, celebrating over 30 years on the radio in mid-Michigan and member of the Michigan Association of Broadcasters Hall of Fame, here's the Dean himself, Tim Stout.
On behalf of our partner, Shaheen Chevy Cadillac, good morning, everybody. On today, being Tuesday, April 9, 2024, and welcome to another edition of the Sparrow Stout on Sports right here on Lansing Sports Station. This is the Game, 7:30 a.m., and you know it is the home of the local sports shows and programming of note in our area, coming to you live every morning right here in the Driven Collision Studios at WVFN Radio. Driven Collision's Joe Laird and staff are busy as we speak at 3200 West Main Street. When that vehicle of yours is banged up and you want it to look brand new, Driven Collision to the rescue when you dial up 977-0955. And we'll have a Driven Collision story of the day as the day unfolds here on this beautiful Tuesday again in mid-Michigan. My goodness, no jackets, nothing, going into the 70-degree area.
I did have to wear
today.
a jacket. You have to wear a jacket this morning, but
Not me. Not me at all.
Well, I get here at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was in the 40s, so I have to wear a jacket. Now, I got a short-sleeve shirt underneath, which is fine, and then, this afternoon I'll, take it off and be just fine.
Well, newsflash, it's welcome. It's warmed up a bit. And there's a lot of outdoor sports activity in our area today between community college, Big Ten college, high school, softball, baseball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, tennis, whatever.
Track and field,
you name it. There's going to be something going on.
And the Lugnuts have their home opener tonight.
I mean, there's a lot going on, which we'll get to as we roll through the morning today. We'll have Pure Green Smith Tree Breaking Sports Moments. Pure Green Smith Tree is at 703-1111. We will have Quality Dairy Stats. Quality Dairy to the rescue whenever sundry items are needed by you. Quality Dairy, okay? 89 great years serving the mid-Michigan area in so many different ways, okay? You can join us on the Culligan Water Hotline at 300-4263. I do have emails in here today, and this is a busy day for the 3 Detroit pro teams because all of them, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, are in action today or tonight, and it's going to be a busy day on the AM stations.
Yeah, coming up at 12:10 pregame, 12:40 WJIM, Tigers and Pirates play the finale of their brief 2-game series. And then tonight, 6:45 on 12:40, huge game for the Red Wings, just about a must-win game for them. They host Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals at Little Caesars Arena. That's again on 1240 WJIM, 645 with Ken and Paul. And I believe Daniela Bruce will be there as well, our friend Daniela Bruce. And here on WVFN at 635, it's Pistons basketball. They're at the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. They've got 4 games left to the Pistons. And they're playing Philadelphia, who's trying to play their way out of the play-in tournament and finish in the top 6. That's what they're playing for. Pistons just, like you said, just playing out the string now.
Like I said to Brock this morning, with a 13-65 record, tonight's game 79.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. So there's 4 games left. Yeah.
So, will the Pistons have a morning shoot-around just to do a little fine-tuning for tonight's game?
Probably in less than an hour. Usually morning shoot-arounds are about 11 a.m.
For Game 79 to see if we can win 14 in Philly tonight against the 76ers.
I see
Is
you
Embiid
working.
playing again?
Yeah, he's back from injury. Yeah.
I mean, I would think against the Pistons, these guys must be just frothing at the mouth. I just
You would
want to.
think.
Will the Pistons just say, "Hey, what time's the game? Let's get in the bus. We'll go to the arena," or do we do a little fine tuning, a little shooting in the morning, kind of get used to the rims, in Philadelphia, or not in Game 79 tonight? What voice do I hear with Dickerson on the Tigers radio?
Bobby Scales,
Who's
former Major League scout.
Is that who that is?
Yes.
I don't know if there's a match there of voices and microphones listening to, and I don't listen to much of it, but I was a little bit going home last night off the news because the Tigers started at 6:40 last night.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I told Brock, I said, you realize the Pirates have a 9-2 record in a beautiful stadium on a night with gorgeous weather, and that stadium looked like it was absolutely stone empty last night.
Less than 10. There was 9,900 and change is the listed attendance.
Announced. So
that's listed, yeah.
Cut it in half. Then I said to Brock, it looked to me like that, and that stadium and the skyline and
the Pirates are off to a good start. They're 9-2.
They're 9-2. You'd think, hey, and you could have fired a cannon through there, not hit anybody
That's
last
too bad.
night. Whether that changes mood, because they've had some baseball history in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, I'd say so.
This is a 2-game series. Boy, it's
and they'll play a 2-game series in Detroit later on in the season.
What's his Riley Connell's? What's the pitcher's name? Riley, the guy that started for the Tigers last night.
Oh, Reese Olson.
Well, I guess I was close.
No, you
in
weren't.
his first game, nobody was it Chicago? Was his first?
I think
game?
so.
Was that his second or third start?
Second start, Tim.
Man, did the Pirates tattoo him on a couple of pitches, and they just let him in there. The one thing about Hinch, he's an equal opportunity guy. He may pull you when things are going well, but he'll leave you in there for a while if you're getting shellacked.
Like he did with Flaherty on Sunday.
I just kept waiting for him to pull the guy because the game was still in, kind of.
And the Tigers had opportunities late in the 8th and 9th inning to possibly tie the game or even win it, but they couldn't get it done.
I mean, in his first, he was goodness. And of course, they pulled him early.
Olsen went 4 1/3 innings.
Last night?
Yes.
That's about what he did the first time I saw him, and he pitched well. But, man, did the Pirates hit some shots off him last night. 7-4 was the final. That's a quality dairy score. Tigers record, 6-4, 3 straight losses.
Yep.
Red flags are up everywhere.
Concerned, yes.
Huge is very concerned. Huge is distraught over them losing 2 out of 3 to the Oakland A's.
Well, distraught's a little bit too much, but you know what? That's unacceptable to lose to Oakland.
He's distraught. I mean, and we've only played, 10 games? That's 1/16 of the season. 1/16 of the endless season.
152 games to go.
See, when my COVID year was 60 games, they have 10 down, 50 to go. Better start turning things around. But they play at 12:30 today, and then they're off tomorrow.
A rare Wednesday off.
They're off Wednesday, and they come home and I think, are all the games with the Twins are in the afternoon, I think.
Except Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah. Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday are afternoon games. 1 o'clock, or on Sunday it's 1:40, and then Friday night is 6:40 because all evening night games are 6:40 instead of 7:10.
I was hoping this morning we might be talking about the first national championship in Purdue basketball history. I thought the game was dull. I never thought for one moment after the
it was good for a half, but then the second half,
5 to 10 minutes, there was a little. But even when Purdue was hanging in there, and the stat of the night, the quality dairy stat of the night, Purdue made 1 3-pointer.
One.
If you'd have told me before the game they're going to make 1 3, I would have said Edey better score 70, 80 points or they're not going to win.
Well, he scored 37. I mean, he was terrific for the most part.
Did you think he played all that well?
I know he
scored 37.
He didn't play at his absolute best. I thought he got tired, but 37 points is 37 points.
I mean, without him.
Goodness.
Without him. But he was 37 and 10, which leads you to believe it was a career night. But, when he put the ball on the deck, they were there to steal it, and they batted balls away.
Tim,
he took 23 shots because he had
25.
Is that what
I'm
it's
looking
called?
at it. 15 for 25.
for 37
And
points.
he played 30. He played 39 minutes, and
He looked like his tongue was hanging out.
yeah, he got tired in the first half. He got tired with 6 minutes to go in the first
But I
half.
think Connecticut can do that to you.
Well, the volume of players that they have wore Purdue down.
You know, the one thing that Connecticut and the South Carolina women, they just keep running waves at you.
Yeah.
They're not a 5-man team, 6-man team, 7-man. They just keep running them in. But it's one thing to play a lot of players. The other thing, though, is can you play off the bench and you don't lose much? I know a lot of teams that play a lot of guys, but when they get into the bench, there's a fall-off, especially Purdue.
Well, the thing is, they played what? Diarra, they only played 8 guys, and they just spotted 2 of the guys off the bench. Diarra off the bench played 13 minutes, and all the starters played at least 30.
I said to Brock,
but it did seem like more.
How did Connecticut ever lose 3 games? They lost 3. And this was a year where everybody said there's tremendous parity in college basketball, and to some degree that's true. But, Connecticut won all 6 tournament games by double digits.
Yes, that is correct. Their closest game was the semifinal against Alabama, 86-72.
And that game was never in doubt.
Here's who they lost to. They lost to Kansas, 69-65. That was in December. They lost.
If they played them again, they'd beat them by 25-30.
I agree. They lost at Creighton, who was really good this year, 85-66. And
that's almost impossible to believe they could lose by 19.
And they lost at Seton Hall, 75-60.
I remember that game. So, in basketball, again, you're on a road. But when you're not on a road, it's neutral or home. Man, do you play differently. But I never once thought Purdue was going to win a game. Never once thought. I just said he doesn't have enough support. He just doesn't have, especially in that one game. But if they played again, I'd pick Connecticut. If they played a third time, I'd pick Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut's a better team. It's
that simple. The best team won. Simple as that.
Petey's guy, lawyer, not a good line for him. 30 minutes played, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 0 points.
They made 1 3, and he scored 37 of their 60 points.
Yeah, Kaufman had 4 points. Braden Smith had 12 points. He had the only 3-pointer, but Lawyer did nothing. Lance Jones did next to nothing. He only had 5 points, and they only had 2 bench points. Heidi had 2 of the bench points.
The championship games in both the men's and women's, right there, you would have to say there was more drama on the women's side.
Easily.
But that was a 12-point game by the time it was over.
But it was tight with 2 minutes to go, yeah.
It was relatively, certainly a lot different than last night. Because last night, I was with friends last night, and they were reading their phones and doing other things because there was no drama. It's in the second half especially.
Yeah, it was, 36-30 at the half. So, hey, you got to come out and play in the second half, and Connecticut did.
And if you're an underdog in these games, the one thing you got to do is shoot well. You've got to shoot well. If you don't shoot well, and how many of Purdue's field goals were, Edie dunks or Edie layups or, because they didn't make anything from the perimeter. They just had no perimeter shooting in that game. They needed threes to get back in the game, and they couldn't get them.
1 for 7 from 3. Of the 24 field goals that Purdue had, you know how many Zach Edey had? 15.
So
15 of 25.
The 5-month college basketball season is over. 5 months. And that doesn't include all the practice formally in the fall, September and October.
Late September now, which is crazy.
I would think these guys are absolutely exhausted if you waited all the way to end. I know if you win the whole thing, it's tough to me. You go through 5 wins in the NCAA tournament, you're 1 win from the title, and you end up getting beat. Now, the only thing is they got blown out for the most part. So, I would think it's not like it's heartbreaking because we lost by 1 or 2 points.
You're disappointed, but yeah.
The game's on way too late. I had people.
Oh, totally.
People were just going crazy that I was around yesterday because the game was not on CBS. It was on TBS. They couldn't find it.
Yep.
And
it's part of the deal they made with Turner years ago.
I'm going to guess that when they played One Shining Moment, 20% of the television audience was around to watch it late because it's a work night. It's too late. The game ended with 10 minutes to go or thereabouts, so people went to bed or went to something else because it fell off the cliff, which happens in championship games from time to time.
Yep.
So the Big Ten drought continues for national titles. Next year will mark 25 years since the Big Ten has won a national championship in basketball. We have a busy show today. I got emails to get to. We'll get to those. We'll get to your calls on the Culligan Water hotline at 300-4263. We have different guests along the way today. We'll just let, as they come in, I'll say, okay, guess who's on the line? We'll go from there.
And folks, don't call for the Masters You Pick 'em. That's tomorrow. I've already taken a couple of calls tomorrow. Today.
Now, what are we giving? We're giving away some tickets that you can have without even going on the air. They're not Masters tickets either, and they're not Tigers tickets.
We'll tell you about that.
And they're
on
not
the
lugged up. We got some tickets to a promotion coming up, and I said to Brock, if anybody wants these, we'll give them to you. We'll leave them out in front. You can come by and pick them up.
We'll tell you about it on the other side.
If you don't want to go on the air, you don't even have to. We never do that here.
Almost never.
But we're making an exception, and we'll explain after the quick timeout as we roll on. Again, on the Tuesday, Sparrow Stout on Sports.
And now to the chopper for our traffic report.
There's a lot of traffic. It must be headed to Meijer for the Buy 5, Save $5 sale. Shop select General Mills family size cereal, Oikos Greek yogurt, and select Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. All Buy 5, Save $5. Mix or match at Meijer.
Okay.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
At Doggy Daycare and Spa, we love dogs. We love hanging out with dogs, grooming dogs, and kissing dogs goodnight. 20 years ago, we introduced Mid-Michigan to Doggy Daycare. We've built 2 custom facilities and provided countless clients and their dogs with the very best in cageless daycare, boarding, and grooming services. Stop in for a tour at either one of our convenient locations in Delta Township on Mount Hope Highway or on the corner of Grand River and Cornell and Okemos. Give us a call at 333-WOOF. That's 333-9663 and let us love your dog. Doggy Daycare and Spa, where the hip hounds hang out.
Everybody loves good water to drink at any time. Healthy water that makes you feel better any time of the year. Culligan Water of Lansing to the rescue. We've got Craig Prang from Culligan right here in Lansing to give us the latest. Craig?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. We have both softeners and iron filters. So if you have an iron or smell odor problem in your water, give me a call. We've got equipment to take care of that. If it's a hardness issue, we can also control that. So either hardness, iron, smell, odor, taste, you give me a call. We can take care of it. You can rent equipment. You can purchase equipment. I don't care. It's just a matter of calling me, 393-1900. I'll get out there, take a quick look at it for you, test the water. Let's see what we can do for you and go from there. I promise I'll make it quick and I'll make it easy.
It's been that way with Culligan. Reliable service and a wonderful product for years and years. The Mid-Michigan and Greater Lansing area, so pleased to help you in any way. Remember, to the rescue, Culligan Water of Lansing. If you've been putting off that car repair due to low funds or other things more important, Lake Lansing Road Mobile Service understands, so take advantage of their tax refund special today, receiving 10% off all parts on repairs over $500 when you mention this ad. Put your tax return to good use. Make an appointment today online or call 484-2300 extension 18. Lake Lansing Road Mobile at Lake Lansing Road and US 127 across from the Eastwood Town Center.
Lansing Road Mobile, we go that extra mile.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players. Pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Buying a home is an important decision. So when you're ready, you want to work with a financial partner you trust. You won't find a more personal loan experience than at Mercantile Bank, because to us, it is personal. Our lenders are in your local community and work for you, so you can feel confident you're getting honest advice from start to finish. When you find your happy place, Merc is here. To learn more, visit mercbank.com/mortgage. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Young or old, okay, male or female, you got some pains, you got aches, Peak Performance Physical Therapy is where you ought to start first. And they've got locations now in DeWitt, Mason, Westshire Drive in Lansing, and also Grand River Avenue in Okemos. 853-6800 is the number. Before you go through all those doctors and any of those surgeries, let their people take good care of you, as they've done for so many people in the area. And hey, if you mention Stout on Sports when scheduling your evaluation, you receive a free gift when you come in for your first appointment. Peak Performance Physical Therapy. Hey, Michiganders, take them back. For decades, the state returned 90% of bottles and cans, making the state #1 in the nation. Today, Michigan is only returning a disappointing 75%. State can do better, and it starts with you. Michigan's 10-cent deposit is a convenient and simple way to keep the streets, parks, and waterways clean, all while conserving valuable resources. These are your roads, your lakes, beaches, and your dimes, so take them back. The message brought to you by Shoe Pan, a Michigan company delivering sustainable material solutions since 1968. One of the special sports eateries in our area, right across from Municipal Ballpark in Lansing, Steakhouse Philly. A relaxed bar and eatery with sports on TV, serving classic and creative cheesesteaks, plus Greek fare that you'll enjoy. For dine-in or takeout, friends get together. Before and after Michigan State events, the campus is nearby. Open at 11 a.m. each day. Get the menu online at steakhousephilly.com. 337-2210. What a wonderful place you'll enjoy anytime. Steakhouse Philly. The Antenna Men have cell signal service for you to increase the cell capacity wherever you are. It's much safer. It's tremendous. The cell signal pros they are at the Antenna Men. Google either the Antenna Men for antenna-free television, okay, and cell signal pros to increase and improve the cell service that makes it so much better and more convenient for you. It's a great company out of Eaton Rapids, Mike Heinze's Antenna Men, coupled with Cell Signal Pros to help you both with free television through antennas and increasing your cell signal service.
From Mud Ice Arena to Little Caesars Arena, we've got the sports opinions that matter to you. From the Driven Collision Studios, we make friends by accident on the game, 7:30 a.m.
On the go from the Driven Collision Studios here at WVFN Radio. Culligan Water Hotline is 342-63. Our email address is tim.stout@wilx.com. I have emails in here, Brock. Let's see. And some of them are just informative as opposed to a comment or a question. We want to salute this morning Bath High School graduate Chandler. Let's see, who is this kid? Dateline, Hudsonville, Michigan. The University of Olivet freshman Devondre Chandler, who went to Bath High School. He's been named the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association Outdoor Field Athlete of the Week.
Oh, good.
He was participating in his first collegiate outdoor meet, and Devondre Chandler won and achieved a school record in the high jump, 6 feet 8 1/4 inches, and that ranks #1 among MIAA athletes and tied for 9th on the NCAA Division III outdoor track and field performance list.
Good for him.
What's his from
Devondre Chandler?
Does that name ring a bell?
I do. I think he played basketball, and I think I do remember him covering a game of his a couple of years ago.
Tim, here's your Quality Dairy stat of the day. UConn is 6-0 in national title games. Michigan is 1-6 in national title games, the one being 35 years ago. Michigan hockey is 1-8 in the Frozen Four since 1998. Mike and Mason sounds like a hater.
Which was their last, yeah.
But that sounds a little bit like a hater, Brock.
Yep, a little bit.
Why is it the two of them are being lumped together? Let's see. Tim, let's see. Not a real, let's see. I'm sure your Matthew is glad he went to the game last night. Obviously not happy with the results. He's not high on Hurley. He says Hurley's action of walking 5 feet on the court and pushing a player where he wanted him.
Yeah, that should have been a technical foul.
Says here should have been a technical foul.
Yep, should have been a technical foul. He got a warning, but that should have been a technical.
Then he had the nerve to belittle the ref that warned him to get off the stinking court. I saw all that. And we're saluting this morning University of Michigan women's golfer Monet Chun, MONETCHUN. She's on the Michigan women's golf team. For all you Wolverine fans out there who follow every Michigan sport, not just football, women's golf, the Wolverines women's golf, they're playing in the Chattanooga Classic. She shot 61 yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
61, Monet Chun. And she had 11 birdies, 6 pars, and a bogey. She became the 7th women's collegiate golfer to record the round of 61, and she set the single-round record for the University of Michigan as well as the Chattanooga Classic. Were you going to get this anywhere else?
I got to say, that's pretty strong.
So there you go. I mean, so Michigan passed that on to us to pass on the air, so when we get achievement like that, then we go ahead and we pass the whole thing on. So there you go. I've done my duty now.
There you go. Charlotte has a new boys basketball coach. We knew their head coach, Tom Fleming, was retiring at the end of the season.
Hang on to that because I'm going to make that.
Go on.
I'm going to make the new coach at Charlotte our daily Gillespie Group Sparrow Stout on Sports High School salute. Hey, the Gillespie Group is renowned for bringing positive change through creative real estate solutions, and many of their developments are recognized locally and nationally. Pick it up from there.
I'll just read the tweet from literally 1 minute ago. Charlotte Athletics is excited to announce that Matt Van Auken, that's capital V-A-N, capital A-U-K-E-N, Matt Van Auken has been hired as their new head boys basketball coach. Matt is a Charlotte basketball alum who graduated in 2009. He's been with the program for 5 years. He's not the only one that announced. Olivet announced their new head coach, boys basketball coach, yesterday, and I got to find that information too. So here it is right here. Hang on. The same is true for Olivet. Olivet has hired Steve Myers as their new varsity boys basketball coach. He most recently served as Olivet's 8th grade coach. He's got varsity experience at Charlotte High School. He replaces Brian Lincoln. So congratulations to Steve Myers and Matt Van Auken, the new head coaches at Olivet and Charlotte, respectively.
You can live close to it all. In the Gillespie Group's Prudent Place Apartments, they have spacious layouts, walkable to the Stadium District in Old Town. Multiple floor plans are available. And the Gillespie Group salutes the new two, read them off again. Matt Van Auken, he is at Charlotte. And
Steve Myers at Olivet.
They are the new boys basketball coaches for next season. Whether there are going to be many more other changes on boys or girls side, stay tuned on that. You can get a tour of a Gillespie Group property anytime at 679-7364. What time do you report to the ballpark? Is it 6:05 opening night?
4 o'clock. I got to be there. I'm not going to be able to get much of a nap, but after I get out of here, but I'll do the best I can.
What kind of a crowd are we thinking? Because it's going to be good weather tonight, 70-some degrees.
I don't know.
When's the last time the Lugnuts had a home opening game with weather as warm as it's expected to be? Although it's going down quickly, though, I noticed.
Well, this time of year, it's going to be that way, yeah.
So what? The first pitch is at 6:05.
6:05.
Well, I'm going to fill this in for you. At 6:05, the temperature it's supposed to be sunny and 65.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
62 at 7 o'clock and 57 at 8 o'clock.
So take a jacket, folks.
So that's what. And Michigan State plays at 6:05 tonight against Central Michigan. Okay, at McLean Stadium.
That's baseball. Okay, yep, baseball.
And next door at Sekia Stadium, Michigan State softball. Now, Brock had the standings up there to set the stage for this one tonight.
Oh, okay.
We got big ones. All right, these are big ones.
Okay, Michigan State is in last place in the Big Ten Conference. They are 1-8 in conference play. They're 13-22 overall. They've lost 4 in a row. While Michigan is 6-3 in league play. They're 24-14 overall. But they got swept over the weekend. They were undefeated in league play. But as you told me, Northwestern swept them over the weekend.
They swept Michigan.
So there you go with that.
Northwestern, it was the Big Ten champ in softball a year ago.
Yes.
So the Spartans are coming in off being outscored 25-8. Those are their quality dairy forlorn numbers, and 3 straight losses at home to Indiana over the weekend. And Indiana came in 0-6 in the Big Ten. Well, they're not 0-6 anymore.
No.
So the Sparties are 1-8. I mean, softball, it is what it is.
To say it's been a struggle is an understatement.
To say it's been a struggle for a few decades is an understatement. But Michigan's in the night, and what you'll notice if you're around there.
Now that's a non-conference game, correct?
No. And that was the one baseball game. This is a league game tonight.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Okay.
They split it up. So Michigan at Michigan State at 6:30. What you'll notice is many of the people in the stands will be Michigan fans for this. It's just the way it works.
It's very possible. You know better than I do.
And what's good about it tonight with the weather is you can watch both games because you can just go back and forth.
Oh, very walkable, yeah.
Which a lot of people do. They just go back and forth because, one size fits all. Once you get in the gate, you're in there and you go watch either one of the two of them. And Central Michigan is at Michigan State tonight. Spartans are in off, and they go to Purdue this weekend for 3. Baseball, Purdue, they go to Purdue for 3. In baseball, Michigan State's 3-3 in the Big Ten. They played out of the Big Ten because they have a non-conference weekend like they do in hockey because they have an odd number of teams because Wisconsin doesn't play baseball.
Correct.
So is that the baseball right there?
I got baseball right here. Let's see. Nebraska is leading percentage-wise at 5-1. Illinois is second at 7-2. Now they go off of percentages because they don't play the same. Because of weather and
they all
issues.
end up with 24.
They're supposed to, but that doesn't always happen. So they go by percentages. Illinois second at 7-2. Michigan third at 6-3,
which is incredible if you've seen Michigan play.
They're 14-18 overall, but 6-3 in Big Ten play.
And State played them the one game in Ann Arbor in horrible weather and beat them 16-6 in a game that lasted 4 days, but it was counted as a non-conference game.
Right. Purdue and Iowa are both 5-4, and then Indiana, Michigan State, and Ohio State are at 3-3.
What's Purdue's record overall?
20-12.
So
they've won 4 in a row.
Well, then State's got to go down there and win them on a row. They have a beautiful baseball, softball complex at Purdue. It's a beautiful complex. The problem is they don't have teams to match it, especially softball. They're brutal in softball. But they've got suites. They've got cup holders for their beer. They sell beer.
Oh, yeah. Petey showed you, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. They sell beer. And I've had a wonderful glass of Chablis watching Purdue-Illinois softball for the 3 innings I could deal with it. And so
why could you only deal with it? Because of the weather?
No, the weather was absolutely perfect. But there's sometimes, let's just say, the entertainment in front of you doesn't match the Chablis.
Oh, the quality of play was not up to your liking.
Both those teams have struggled in that sport. But this is a few years ago. This is since he was down there.
Yeah.
Okay, we were, you go down there for parents' weekends and all that.
Oh, right, yeah. You did that all the time, yeah.
So, but the complex they have is gorgeous. Now, they're like anybody else in the north. If the weather's good, some people. Tonight, State should have some fans for the Central Michigan baseball game. And Michigan, no matter how bad State is, and they're what they are is they're typical. They don't ever change. They're in last place in the Big Ten, and that's where they are almost every single year. It's just the way it works around here. But they play Michigan tonight. The weather's decent. So if anybody was ever going to go, because if they have interest in that sport,
tonight's the way to do it.
And Michigan is better than State, but they're not what they were with Hutch. This is what her second year out since she retired.
Yep.
And that's tonight. Or you can try the Lugnuts tonight because they play at 6:05 as well, and it's their first of 66 home games tonight. And the Loons are in town. The Great Lakes Loons
are in town. And they'll bring some people. With a crowd like this, Great Lakes and West Michigan always bring people to Lansing when they come here.
Well, on a Tuesday night of a work week, I'm not quite sure we're going to be knocking down the gates with fans of the visiting team.
But we'll see.
Call me crazy, but I'm going to guess the Loons don't travel as well on a Tuesday night down here just because it's within hailing distance. Okay,
and I think tonight's
it's the first of a 6-game series.
Yep.
First of a 6-game series tonight. So, I mean, do we have a number of promotions? And the dogs in the park, that's tomorrow? Yeah, you take the dog tomorrow.
Yep.
Canine preferred for dogs in the park tomorrow. Canine preferred. On that, because that's another promotion on all the Wednesdays for home games this season, right?
Most of them, yeah. They've got, I don't know what they have going tonight. Usually Tuesdays are Taco Tuesdays where they have discounts on tacos and such, but I don't see, they might be doing something different tonight because it's opening night.
Well, the Michigan State put lights in, okay, for both softball and baseball. The lights will be in action tonight.
You'll need it, yeah.
Because and again, like Brock says, by the time you get to 8 o'clock, it's going to be in the high 50s. So, the sweater required. The softball games usually don't go more than about an hour and a half, 45 minutes before it's over. But we'll see. So if you're looking for something tonight on a nice day like today with a lot warmer weather, there are things going on. We'll take a quick break. Come back. What say you? Culligan Water Hotline is 342-63. Some of the area spring teams are off and rolling and underway. And there are a couple of teams that are in baseball, high school, off to a good start. Others are surprisingly struggling early, but it is very early. But at least now, the weather through the end of the week, it appears will be nice and warm and good for us. More in a moment on the Tuesday Sparrow Stout on Sports.
Here's what's on tap today here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN. We got a lot of calls out to guests. I believe Dave Ellis is going to join us in the next hour, but there's lots of other possibilities. Just keep on listening and know the Masters You Pick 'em is not today, it's tomorrow. I've already taken a couple of calls and I had to tell them, Masters You Pick 'em's tomorrow. Oh, okay, sorry. So that's tomorrow. At 1 o'clock, ESPN Radio. Then at 3, it's The Huge Show. Tonight at 6:35, Pistons basketball. They're at Philadelphia tonight. On 1240 WJIM at 1210 this afternoon, it is Tigers baseball. The Tigers are at the Pittsburgh Pirates playing the back end of that 2-game series. Casey Mize throwing for the Tigers today. And a big one tonight at Little Caesars Arena. You'll hear at 6:45, 1240 WJIM, the Detroit Red Wings trying to get back in the playoff race. A win will do it. Put them back in position for a playoff berth. But they got to host Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. That's at 6:45 tonight on 1240. And that's what's on tap. The game, 7:30 a.m., WVFN.
Tailgating season or any other special occasion, Tom's Food Centers in Okemos and Portland are ready to make it great for you. The entire family has created Tom's Food Centers, and they upgrade the stores with new renovations on a consistent basis. And it's also so convenient to get in and out right away 7 days a week. A lot of things on sale. The stores are fully stocked. They're neat, clean, sanitary. And for all those special occasions, you can dart in and out anytime, 7 days a week. Try them. Tom's Food Centers in Okemos and Portland. Golf is never out of season at Michigan State's Forest Acres Complex. Regardless of the weather or the time of the year, you can practice with the facilities. And the pro shops have all kinds of spectacular apparel and Michigan State artifacts you really can't find anywhere else. Great for gift-giving ideas at any time of the year. Online, golf.msu.edu for everything Michigan State. And the 2024 season has got a lot of opportunities for golfers everywhere. Forest Acres Complex Golf at Michigan State.
We all want more out of work and out of life. More top-line ideas, more bottom-line results, more support on the job to get us more time away from the job. To get more, it helps to have a trusted partner like Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan and Blue Care Network. It doesn't matter how big or small your business is. We help you stretch dollars and offer the healthcare coverage you want so you can focus on your job and life away from it. To see what Blue Cross can do for you, visit timeformore.com.
Mid-Michigan has been blessed for 89 years with the convenience of the quality dairy stores serving Mid-Michigan in so many different ways. Sundry items at any time you're short, you can run to a quality dairy store. Everything from gasoline to laundry to bakeries to delicatessen, you name it, and the quality dairy stores have it for you. And their fresh baked items are fantastic, and there's always something in the deli that's special every day. There's always high quality at Quality Dairy, serving you all over Mid-Michigan 7 days a week.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
City Limits in Mason. What a gathering place for people who've enjoyed bowling and just recreation and get-togethers for a number of years. And it's going hot and heavy, and it's safe and sound. And you ought to see all the people in the parking lot who enjoy City Limits every single day. You can sign up for a bowling league for a special occasion 7 days a week after a game, or go watch games on the big screen TV. City Limits on Cedar Street in Mason. Everybody knows where it is, and everybody loves it. You'll love City Limits Cedar Street in Mason too. It's amazing to me the fabulous quality of Wash World in cleaning your vehicle. 2 locations in our area, Okemos and Jolly Road, and on the west side I-96 at the MLK exit. State-of-the-art, full service, free vacuum. Who offers that? $2 off on Wednesday, gift cards available, and you can get monthly and yearly wash subscriptions. You're in and out right away. Your vehicle looks great any time of the year. Make your car or truck look great at Wash World. The best in quality, the fastest service, believe me, in Okemos and Westside Lansing. It's the red hot place in Lansing, in the Frandor Shopping Center, Sparty's Coney Islands. It's where all the world's problems get solved by everybody that loves the place, and it's only open till 2 o'clock each day. The breakfasts on Saturday or any other day are great, but those Sparty Coney Islands are fantastic. Catering, carry out the works, okay? Oh, there are other items on the menu, but on Tuesdays, you can get the Sparty's Coney Island Spectacular for half price, $1.99 for Coney's. That's on Tuesday. Sparty's Coney Islands in Frandor. Mid-Michigan Tax to the Rescue, April 15th next week. Ready to go. Are you ready to go with your taxes at any time during the year? In Lansing, Mid-Michigan Tax Deb Aldering staff at 694-9545. They do payroll for companies as well.
Hope you stretched during that timeout. We're back for more sports. It's The Game, 7:30 a.m. I think I pulled a hammy.
On we go from the Driven Collision Studios here at WVFN Radio. So, Brock, Fred and yours truly, occasionally we disagree on sports topics.
Like a lot.
But yesterday we agreed, and we're probably the only two in the building yesterday who said, do you really care about the eclipse? And Channel 10, for all the employees, passed out eclipse glasses yesterday, and everybody went out. Fred and I were the only ones in the building that absolutely could have cared less about the eclipse. Was the eclipse overrated? I mean,
no, it wasn't overrated. I mean, I saw enough pictures on the internet and Twitter and Facebook that, I mean, it was pretty cool looking to see that it was completely dark out at 1:30 in the
that didn't move the
afternoon
needle.
or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
They didn't move the needle with either of us. But I was driving at the time. I thought it looked a little bit dimmer, okay? And but he and I looked at each other. I said, are you into this thing? I said, I don't see what the big deal is. But I was driving at the time, drove by a school, and I saw the little kiddies outside with their little glasses on, waiting to see whatever it was that you're going to see.
Sure.
But to your point, I mean, in advance, on the news shows, you saw all these depictions of what it's going to be, and I thought, okay, that's nice. How long does that last? Life goes on. I didn't think it was that big a deal. But, boy, others did. They said the traffic in and out of the Cleveland area was unbelible for that thing because that was the prime area to watch.
My sister took a day off of work to drive to Ohio to get a perfect view of it.
The only eclipse I saw yesterday was Connecticut eclipsing Purdue by a wide margin in the NCAA title
in
game.
The second half, definitely, yeah.
All right. As you know, we have an official jeweler of Sparrow Stout on Sports, Ozzie Jewelers. Every Tuesday, we get the latest from Brooke Humble from Ozzie at 332-7900, Kitty Corder from Frandor, and she's on the other end of the line. Like, did the employees at Ozzie go eclipse watching yesterday, or customers? Why am I a killjoy that didn't think that was such a big deal?
Well, there's a lot of us that feel the same way. Did we go eclipse watching? Well, if you count all of us bringing the cordless phone and sitting in the parking lot and looking up at it for a few minutes, yes, we did all do that. And we did have a customer who was there, and she came out and watched it with us. And it was very cool. I didn't have the appropriate glasses that you needed, so I don't think I got the full effect like some of the others. But I'm with you. It's great. Those people that love those things, I think that's awesome. I'm glad that it's over because I agree the hype was just huge.
Well,
just so huge.
I mean, the networks all broke in, Brock. They had all kinds of coverage everywhere. I mean, all over I guess it's better than breaking in with bad news, that there's something that...
That's true.
Every time they break in, it's usually bad news. This wasn't bad news in any way, shape, or form. At any rate, my guess is it's probably these are busy times. It's a busy time of year in a variety of different ways. Give us the latest update from Ozzie on this beautiful day in mid-Michigan.
Absolutely. Well, I did hear that there were several people, none that I know, who got married during the eclipse yesterday. And there were several people who were planning to propose during the eclipse yesterday. So I have not heard of any of our customers doing so, but if anybody did, I'd love to hear from them. I'd love some of the pictures because we would certainly promote that on our social media pages. Again, if that's something that you're really into, that would be pretty cool to promote. However, engagements and proposals happen all the time, which is something that I talk about all the time on the air with you, and we are ready and prepared. So if you are looking to buy an engagement ring or to upgrade a current engagement ring, we have all sorts of diamonds, and whether they're lab-grown or natural diamonds, we have moissanite. Some people are even using a colored gemstone, such as a morganite, which is a real pretty champagne pink color. We're doing all sorts of things in engagement rings and upgrades these days. So if you are in the market and you're considering doing so, please reach out to us or check us out on our website, schedule an appointment on our website, and we'd be happy to work with you. We've got all sorts of options in store and all different price points, something for everyone.
So, again, the number is 332-7900. You can visit with Brooke or the staff in the store, make appointments, or just chat over the phone or Google or go online, all that good stuff. We have, obviously, besides engagements, but there are also open houses coming up right around the corner, both for high school, college, graduations. All that stuff is going to be here in just a matter of days or weeks. And if you're thinking, what's a great gift of Ozzy, that's why Ozzy is the official jeweler. In a variety of different ways, and watches are always big this time of the year, as you like to say, right?
Watches are huge. We sell those every single day. Sometimes people come in and they just want to buy themselves a special watch or a timepiece. We have all different options, again, all different price points, starting at $99, going up into several thousands of dollars. Again, something for everyone. And graduation gifts for the men and women. Those watches are huge. Everything from Shinolas to Seikos to Oris to Rolex to the Breitlings that we have. There's a lot of options. We have the largest watch selection in all of mid-Michigan. We had somebody come in yesterday for a repair on a Tissot watch that she had bought overseas. She Google searched where to get that Tissot repaired, and we popped up. She had no idea that we are able to repair so many watches from all over the place, and we absolutely are. Sammy does a really great job, and if he can't do it in our store, he contacts that designer, that watchmaker themselves, and he will go through them. He's your middleman, and he'll take care of it for you. So if you do decide to get a watch as a gift for yourself or for somebody else, know that we fully service those here in store as well. The other gift idea that I really like for men, rings. We just brought in a new men's line, and it's not just for engagement or just for wedding bands. There are a lot of men that do like right-hand rings, and we have very different pieces coming in. They're trickling in every day. We're pricing some today. There are some that are great for those that are hunters, some that are great for welders and machinists. There are some that are black tungsten, and they have some color in them, some blues for the police officers. So we have a lot of different ideas and options for men to be worn, not only, like I said, as wedding bands, but also right-hand rings. So I highly encourage all you guys out there to come on in and take a look at them. Those also start at maybe just a few $100s and go up from there. So they're really, really cool. Really excited about those.
Absolutely. And then Mother's Day is around the corner, about a month away or so, and there's always something for Mom any time of the year, let alone Mother's Day. At Ozzy, same thing. Some ideas there from you for Mother's Day, too, I would guess.
We also just brought in a new fashion jewelry line, is what we call it. A lot of yellow gold is real popular right now. However, if you still love the rose gold and the white gold, we have so many different options, whether they're earrings, bracelets. Those are real popular. Some of these stackable gold bracelets, some with diamonds, some without. We have both options in the store. We sell those all the time. Also, earrings, gold hoop earrings. There's some, they're called little huggies. Probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you guys, but they're small little earrings that are hoops, and they hug the earlobe. And a lot of times what the ladies are doing is they're buying some of those smaller ones, and then if they have multiple piercings in their ears, they like to add maybe a little diamond to go with it, or maybe a larger hoop to go with it, diamond hoops to go with it, all different options and styles in the store. So Mother's Day is one of our busiest times of year, and I love that you want to go out and honor all those special women in your life. Come see us, reach out to us. Again, schedule an appointment, and one of us will be happy to help you find that perfect gift for the special lady in your life.
Yeah, and it's a great week weather-wise to stop by. There's plenty of parking in front. There's no jeweler, in our opinion, like Ozzy Jewelers, the official jeweler in a variety of ways of the Sparrow Stout on Sports. Brooke and Sammy and Eli and all the great people there are more than happy to help you at any time and in any way. We can certainly assure you of that. Brooke, appreciate it a great deal. Have a great week, great weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Sounds fantastic. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. There you go. Tomorrow is our Masters You Pick'em show. And, Brock, I have one of the media outlets here today is ranking the Masters field. They've seeded the players 1 to 89.
Oh, really?
Okay, 1 to 89. The 89th rank, because there's 89 guys in the field this week at the Masters. The 89th guy in the ranking is 58-year-old Jose Maria Olazabal.
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
And there's an amateur who's 58. Freddie Couples is 57.
I'll go.
No, I haven't looked at all of them. So now you can always guess who's going to be.
Freddie's just hoping to make the cut.
Let's see how good you are. Who do you think is seeded number 1?
Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, so now who do you think is seeded number 2?
Jon Rahm.
He's number 2. Let's see how good you are. Who's seeded number 3? I don't think you'll get this one. And I'm not sure I agree either.
Brooks Koepka?
You got it. You read this.
No, I didn't.
Well, let's see how far you can go. And by the way, that's a live players seeded 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Who's seeded number 4?
McIlroy.
No, he's 5.
Okay. 4 would be Dustin Johnson?
No. Let's see where he is. Xander Schauffele is 4.
Oh, now I'm surprised by that.
Shane Lowry is 6. Matsuyama is 7. Joaquin Niemann is 8.
Yeah, he got a special invitee because he won the Australian Open or the Australian PGA in December?
Wyndham Clark is 9. Ludwig Aberg is 10.
Yeah, I'll go with
Bryson DeChambeau is 11. I'm not sure if that should be.
Because of his
high
length.
for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Will Zalatoris is 12. Zalatoris played with Tiger Woods yesterday. He said he played absolutely great. Phil Mickelson reportedly played 9 holes yesterday and shot 41 with 3 3-putts.
Yikes.
Victor Hovland, for all his struggles, he's ranked 13th. Jordan Spieth, 14th. Sahith Theegala is 15th. I can't believe they've got some of these guys as high as they are. Take it for whatever it's worth, but all 89 of those guys can be yours for the taking tomorrow. First come, first serve on the Masters You Pick 'em. What's on your mind today? We got a busy second hour coming up. After the news, away we go. This is the Tuesday Sparrow Stout on Sports.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
It's not just sports, it's a lifestyle.
Right on.
We are the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN, East Lansing.
If spring allergies keep...
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Welcome to the second hour of the Sparrow Stout on Sports, starring Tim Stout on the game, 7:30 a.m. You can call the Dean on the Culligan Water Hotline at 517-300-4263 or drop him an email at tim.stout@wilx.com. Now, celebrating over 30 years on the radio in Lansing, here's the Dean of Mid-Michigan Sports, Tim Stout.
Hour number 2 is brought to you by the 2 wash roll locations in our area. Beautiful day for a wash roll. Okemos and Jolly Road and I-96 at the MLK exit. $2 off on Wednesdays. Always free vacuum service. Gift cards available. Frequency discounts and the best wash anywhere, we think anyway, from the 2 wash rolls in our area. We always appreciate it when our college hockey insider Dave Ellis joins us. Usually on Tuesdays right away at 11:05. I think he's in transit somewhere today, but he's on the other end of our line. You're always in transit seemingly somewhere for some reason, work-related or otherwise. Fair to say?
Yeah, this is a day job trip, though, one that, you got to keep that alive so I can still do all my fun side hustles.
So I was suggesting some questions for you to Brock, and Brock, has usually got on my case. He said, why would you ask him a stupid question like that? And I said, well, let's see what his response is. I said, do you think Dave will respond favorably just out of in-state loyalty?
No.
That he'll be wearing his Michigan apparel, watching the Frozen Four, rooting for his sister's school and big brother just because of all the obvious local ties. So I said, well, I'll ask him. Like Brock says, what a stupid question to ask. Words to that effect. And I thought, I'm going to ask him anyway. Maybe we'll see what comes back. What comes back on that?
The eclipse will be more common than that. How about that?
Are you looking forward to the Frozen Four Thursday night? 5:30 is the first game. So 5 o'clock.
5 and 8:30.
5
is that
and
what
8:30
it is?
is that? And Michigan is the anchor game.
Yeah.
Okay, the anchor game at 8:30. You have any pre doubleheader thoughts on the Frozen Four from St. Paul coming up?
Well, how about this? These are the 4 top scoring teams in the nation. All 4 of them. They're 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you like goals and you expect to see some scoring, this is the Frozen Four for you. Because if you don't get it now, it's got to be something completely out of the norm for all of these teams, because they all can put the puck in the net, and they're not necessarily out there emphasizing defense. So should be very exciting, and I think it's the first time in a long time that there really isn't a true, it's not 3 big teams and a little one that's the underdog. I don't think you can call Michigan an underdog at all if they're third straight trip to the Frozen Four, and they're still ranked, 8th, 9th in the country. Somehow they're statistically the underdog in this tournament, which is pretty amazing when you look at what they've done.
Now, I've been to one Frozen Four. I was there in Chicago. And what amazed me is it appeared to me, and the place was packed, but it amazed me that there were so many hockey sweaters of almost every one of the 60 whatever number of Division I schools there are. There must be a lot of people who buy the tickets when they can get them in advance, and if their school's there, great, and if not, we're going because we love college hockey and we want to watch it anyway. Is that still the way it works?
Yeah, there are, and that's pretty much gone on since, I think the first time I really saw it was in St. Paul in 1989, when Michigan State was the last team to actually win the third place game before they did away with it. There were a bunch of other sweaters in the building, and you looked around and said, wow, I didn't realize that Denver fans are still going to go to the Frozen Four, even though their team wasn't going to be here. And there have been occasions where even some of the great bands of schools that weren't going to make it were invited just to create more atmosphere. But it really has become like a college hockey event. I know one buddy who's going to his 30th this year, and his team has never been. So, they just really gravitate toward this as a great chance to celebrate the sport and meet up with your friends from other schools. And I think the NCAA has at least not ruined that, because it'd be really easy to say, well, we're going to wait until the last minute and sell the tickets just to the schools that are in, but you can get these tickets ahead of time now, and getting that pre-sale ahead. Every year, if you're finding the last-minute tickets to the Frozen Four, it's somebody who had already planned on going, not someone who's been sitting on those tickets and just waiting to offload them.
Right. If you know, who assigns the officiating crews, and are the officials all crews together through the entire season, or are they individuals and they crew them up for this and they work together, even though they were chosen separately?
Well, they'll work together by league. There isn't like a set crew of these 4 officials always work together. Most of the time, the assistant referees or linesmen, if you want to call them that, are local, and then the 2 referees are working together and moving around to different sites. So you won't travel a foursome to a different site. Most of the time, you're going to find that I would guess that a lot of the referees in this one are going to end up being from leagues like ECAC and the CCHA, and because you won't have any conflicts at all, and you're guaranteed to have those teams in there. Knowing you've got 2 Hockey East teams, you've got a Big Ten team, and you've got a Nacho team, you're running the risk that you're not going to end up with the correct assignment where you're going to get somebody who's worked in that league before. And the NCAA, as much as their rules are in bracketing, it's even more so in officiating. It's anathema to have a referee from a league that has got a team involved in that game. So they'll work together with the leagues will send their best for sure. I know that the CCHA guys will have a top pairing, and they'll have 2 linesmen that they'll run into. They won't be local. They'll actually travel for this one. But I would expect that ECAC will have a prominent role in officiating this tournament.
And am I correct in saying that all these guys get together to discuss format changes, rule changes, league changes, whatever changes every other year? In the off season, after this is all over, is the convention or whatever they call the thing when everybody gets together, are there any changes in the sport coming in the off season at all?
Yeah, I think this is a year when they can do a rule adjustment. I think that the last year was just an emphasis on what they were going to really point to in the book, and this is a year that they do the rules adjustment. I don't remember. They do it in alternate years. You're right. It's every 2 years they do that. So that typically will come out of the coaches' meetings in Florida afterward when the conferences will get together and they'll have a platform that they work on, and it's not individual schools that are trying to bring this up. So this is more just executing the end of the college hockey season. You're not going to see a whole lot of rule adjustment talk, except if you're going to get a chance to talk to people that are in the NCAA. But all of the legwork on that one will come at the coaches' conference in Florida.
Did you happen to hear it when Rick Comley was on the air with us last week?
I did. And I was not surprised, and I actually got a chance to talk to Grant Patolny, the head coach at Northern Michigan, afterward. And yes, worst case scenario for sure, but it's not something that that we're thinking, well, this completely hit us out of the blue. They knew it was going to be a possibility. They've got a big recruiting class coming in next year, and losing the goaltender kind of opened a lot of eyes, but they've also got a really highly rated goaltender coming in who would probably feel really good about it now that, well, I know I'm going to be the guy walking in the door, so much less chance that happens. Yeah, I mean, finances are tough for Northern Michigan and schools that size, and they've got a lot of money tied up in facilities. So, anybody who was thinking that there was going to be a coaching change, I don't think necessarily took that into account, that, they're just buying out a coach and putting in a new one was going to be a real problem financially.
Are there any coaching changes coming in the Division I? Any Big Ten coaching changes anticipated, or does everybody look like they're going to stand pat going into next winter?
Yeah, I think Big Ten's pretty solid. The two jobs that were open that were close to us at Miami and Bowling Green have both been filled. It looks like the CCHA is pretty solid with what they've got right now. I know that Lindenwood is still looking. Stonehill filled their job. If you haven't lost your job yet, pretty likely that unless there's some kind of major extenuating circumstance, you're going to keep it for next year. So there aren't a lot of jobs this year, which was kind of interesting. Normally by now you'd have at least 5 or 6 of them that are floating around out there, but there weren't any retirements this year. There weren't a whole lot of schools that decided to just make a big splash change other than BG and Miami, and they've both filled their jobs already.
So when I announce hockey names, if for any reason going to a school or coming to Michigan State, I have absolutely no idea who I'm talking about. However, it caught my eye yesterday that when Wisconsin's Charlie Stramel in the portal announced that he's coming to Michigan State, that didn't mean a whole lot until I noticed that he was the 21st pick overall in the 22 draft by the Minnesota Wild. First of all, is he that good? And second of all, if he is that good, why would he leave Wisconsin for another Big Ten school?
Well, Charlie Stramel was a guy with a lot of potential for sure, but he was a Granado recruit and decided to go for the year at Wisconsin under the Hastings group. So he came in with the coach that did not recruit him, and I'm sure he went through the year with the system and said, this isn't really what I want. And he's got a prior relationship with a couple of the coaches on staff, including Adam Nightingale at Michigan State, and has played with a bunch of the guys that are going to be here next year. So it made a good sense to pursue a guy like that who's really got some high-end talent. I think Adam would be the first to tell you that this year, if you go down their lines, that they pretty much had they had a third-line talent level playing on their fourth line, and the other two were all second-line talent level, which is great for your third line, pretty good for your second, but they're not really that one high-end kind of player. And Charlie Stramel definitely has the potential to be able to do that. He's got good size, good hands, and it's a question now of who can you put him with to really bring the best out of him. He was in a much more defensive system that I don't think really lended to his skill set the way that Mike Hastings likes to play. Not to say that he couldn't have succeeded there, but he just thinks it's a better fit to go to a place like Michigan State where the system fits him a little better.
Yeah. What's amazing to me is now in the transfer portal days, I haven't seen many named basketball players moving to where we know they're going to end up. But in hockey, the season isn't even over yet. And Adam Nightingale at Michigan State, he's had a couple of transfers he's already got in. He's losing some, but I don't think those are necessarily key players. I mean, the grass isn't growing very fast before Michigan State's very busy getting a new hockey roster all set for next season in short order, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you want to have those guys on the ground because you can get them in playing with each other a little bit over the summer, doing some summer classes. This is not a year where the rink is going to be getting major work done, so there's going to be ice for a good chunk of the summer, which is always great for guys to get out there and get a chance for some captain practices and maybe even an occasional hour or two with one of the coaches under the instruction rules that the NCAA has. So not a bad idea to get these guys together and start building some chemistry right away. And there have been some big moves in the portal already. I know that Matthew Wood was one of the big prizes from UConn, and he's already gone to Minnesota. Matt Polkamp, the defenseman who was on the World Junior team, left Bemidji. He ended up at Denver, and both of those guys, I'm sure this coaching staff would have loved to take a look at them, but they've already got this pretty well planned out that they just don't have space for him right now. The only big question is whether or not Artie Levshinoff decides after we learn his team that drafts him this summer, whether he's going to go right away. But you can't really plan for that. You can't bring somebody in, and then if he decides to stay, now you're kind of looking bad. So there may be one more that comes at the last minute just due to what that situation is going to be, but not knowing what team is going to take him and what they want for him in the immediate future, you have to leave that spot open for a guy who was one of your best performers all year for sure.
Right. Okay, so the Frozen Four, Thursday, Saturday in St. Paul, Minnesota, off the top of your head, if you know, next year, do you know any of the regional sites and where the Frozen Four is not only next year, but at any time in future years?
Yeah, the big one next year is that the Huntington Center in Toledo is going to have a regional hosted by Bowling Green. So for the first time in forever, there's actually going to be a true Midwest regional that's within an easy afternoon's drive for anybody at Michigan State or Notre Dame or Ohio State. You're not just shunting three of them up to the Northeast and saying, well, you know what, Midwest fans, we don't care about you. So having one close to home is going to be nice for a lot of teams that are around that can get to that one very easily. It's a great facility where the Toledo Walleye play, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. It escapes me right now where the Frozen is next year.
Brock's got it.
They're in a pretty solid It's a pretty solid rotation of where they're going.
Brock, what do you got?
First of all, the other regionals next year are Allentown, Pennsylvania, Fargo, North Dakota, and Manchester, New Hampshire. And the Frozen Four, St. Louis, Enterprise Center, where the Blues play.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and we've been talking about that was one of the reasons that they wanted that Centene Center to get that staff up to speed on it. So that's actually prety good spacing. I went to the Allentown Regional last year. The building is nice. It's got a nice little downtown around it, and that's not too bad. Mance Vegas is a great place for hockey up in New Hampshire, and they really had some success with the Colorado Regional, too. So should be pretty well attended next year, it always depends on who the teams are. But those are four pretty good sites for next year. That should be a lot of fun.
And, guys, in 2026, the Frozen Four is in Las Vegas, in the Vegas Golden Knights Arena, T-Mobile Arena. The regionals in 2026, Albany, New York, Loveland, Colorado, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Worcester, Massachusetts. That's in 26.
So there you go.
So if you want to see an NCAA regional locally, you better go to Toledo next year because it's going to be a while before they're back within the footprint here in the Michigan, Ohio area.
Well, what I don't understand, why does Detroit get a black mark? They were supposed to have the Frozen Four in the COVID year, so that got canceled. All right, why does Detroit have to forfeit? To me, the next one that's available should have gone to Detroit because through no fault of its own, it lost its Frozen Four. And you know doggone well the Frozen Four in Detroit would be a huge deal regardless of the four teams that are there, right?
Yeah, and I don't think it really is location-specific with the demand on those now because of what we talked about, because it's a college hockey event, even if your team isn't in it. I'm sure Atlanta feels the same way about losing the Final Four in 2020, and they haven't gotten a sniff to get it back either with the men's basketball tournament. So why they didn't make any kind of concession to those areas, that's up to the NCAA. I have no idea.
All right, before I let you go, I mean, heaven forbid this should happen. If Michigan wins 2 games this week, like, are you up on a ledge somewhere late Saturday night? Or
Oh, come on, Tim.
I mean, where is he? Is he on a ledge? Is he jumping out of a plane?
Stop.
I mean, what happens if Michigan wins 2 games this week? Does that ruin your spring or worse? Or how is all that going to play out for you? Or are you going to say, you know what, give the Blue its due, national champions, despite finishing 4th in the Big Ten?
Yeah, finished 4th in the Big Ten, yeah.
They're going to have to earn it to get through there with the powerhouse teams that are in. I will say this, that everyone's picking a BC-BU final doesn't really know their history, because in the 20-some years that there's been a 16-team tournament, there have only been 2 times that the number 1 and number 2 overall seeds have met for the title. That was in 2017 and last year. So, and the only other time in any NCAA tournament since it went past just 4 teams was in 1982. So you don't see that happen very often, where number 1 and number 2 get in there. So that's got to give some hope to Denver and to Michigan. And I will tell you right now, if I got to pick a dark horse, I'm picking Denver, because I know they can score goals, and all of a sudden they're playing the best defense of any of the teams that are left remaining in the tournament. We know everybody can score. How much you're going to be able to stop the other team is definitely going to play into it. And everybody who's talking about Michigan's power play is going to go out and they're going to dominate doesn't also take into account Boston College is the number 1 penalty kill team in the NCAA. And they have numbers right now that would put them in the top of the last 3 seasons. So if you're expecting special teams to be the big deal there, BC is the number 2 power play and the number 1 penalty kill. I don't think you want that to go down to a special teams battle, just because BC's got so many horses on both sides of the ice.
Right. Well, it's coming up Thursday, the doubleheader. And by the way, ESPN's got those, right? Those are ESPN games. Is that the deal?
Or is it ESPN2?
I think it's the Deuce, and I'm not sure if the championship game will move over to the mothership or not, or if they'll just shunt it back over to ESPN2. But it won't be going down to ESPNU or ESPN News for any of these, unless they decide that, well, there's an LSU baseball game we want to run over or something like that.
Do you have anything else you want to pass on that I wouldn't know to ask you about before I let you go?
No, I think the Hobie Baker is pretty well sewn up. It'll be Macklin Celebrini from BU that ends up with the title. Looking at Cutter Gauthier has had a great year, but I don't think he's got the buzz, and Jackson Blake is the throw-in right now. So you would expect right now that Macklin Celebrini will be the Hobie winner, and typically Hobie winners don't end up winning the national championship in the same year. So that's probably not a great sign for BU, and he may even be sitting there with the only guy left in town because everyone left after them getting beat the night before. But I would think Celebrini is the guy, and it'll be interesting to start seeing if there are any more portal moves, because it's kind of a slow spot right now. It's a recruiting dead period starting tomorrow. So anybody who makes the move after this is doing it strictly on their own volition until that dead period ends. So it'll be a great chance for the coaches to maybe decompress a little bit. And I know that all over the country there are 60 staffs that are probably ready for a break right now, and hopefully just enjoy the hockey.
And who's the favorite for National Coach of the Year?
That's a darn good question. And remember, to qualify to be on the list, you had to either win Coach of the Year in your league or make the Frozen Four. And that's how you determine the field. With everybody who's named on that one right now, I would think Adam Nightingale's got as good a shout as anybody. And it may come down to who ends up doing what this weekend. But Jay Pandolfo and Greg Brown at BU and BC would certainly be on the list. David Carl is always a good pick. There are all kinds of options in there, but don't be surprised if Adam Nightingale brings that one home, and that will be the first Penrose won by Michigan State since Ron Mason won it in 1992.
So there you go. Well, there'll be a lot to talk about 1 week from today. The season will be over, but there's never a lack of news going on, and we'll get caught up then. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate your time. Enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the Masters.
There you go. When we come back, more on the Cullingan Water Hotline. Brock, I think
still waiting for tee times for the first 2 rounds of the Masters.
Do you think that the state of Michigan hockey fans will all unite?
No.
Behind 2 teams, the Red Wings and the Michigan Wolverines. Hockey fans around the state.
For the most part, yes, the Red Wings, but Michigan, it's split. It's how it is.
Yeah, but it's a sister school and big brother. Doesn't everybody rally around the sister school and big brother? Apparently you don't think they do.
Now I'm rolling my eyes, folks.
I mean, I thought Ellis might put
that's a dumb question.
Will he put
Tim.
his Michigan hockey jersey on and watch the semifinals?
He doesn't have one.
Oh, he doesn't have one?
I don't know that for sure, but I seriously doubt that he does.
I mean, I think I speak for Spartan fans everywhere. They'll all be rooting for the Maize and Blue coming up on Thursday night.
Like almost none of them will.
More in a moment on the Tuesday Sparrow Stout on Sports. We've got a high five to Greg Sinacropi and everyone who has built Arts Pub into an iconic location on Kalamazoo Street in downtown Lansing. It's a great game day hangout, serving a wide menu of pub grub and pizza, plus a shuffleboard table, dine-in or takeout, closes at 11 p.m., and the menu can be found online at artspublansing.com or call 977-1033, serving all 3 labor shifts in the city with wonderful fare. Arts Pub, Kalamazoo Street. Have a great time there in Lansing. You never know what time of year you're going to need the talented people and services of Doty Mechanical, 615 South Waverly in Lansing, one of the terrific service companies in our area through the years. Heating issues, cooling issues. You need a generator. You need plumbing help. All of that and more from the great technicians at Doty Mechanical. They carry the Carrier products. They're the exclusive distributor in the area. 327-7777, 327-7777. When you need that kind of help, call Doty Mechanical. Of all the recommendations that I've ever given you on this program through the years, no one goes higher than the Munn team for real estate advice. John and Jan Munn work as hard as anyone in the business, trust me, and they truly are realtors who get results. John's cell phone, 881-6623. Jan's at 282-6781. And when they put the 1-2 whammy on a sale or to get you the best deal possible, you have the best people working for you. The Munn team, realtors who truly get results for anything real estate. We've partnered for years with our official pizza, Cottage and Gourmet Pizza. You always get fast delivery and a variety of specials every day. Order online at cottagein.com. Convenient locations all over our area, especially East Lansing and Okemos. Cottage and Pizza offering a wide variety of gourmet pizzas, and you can build your own just the way you want. Handmade dough closes at 11:30 each night. Way to go, George Hoover, with the continued growth and success of our official pizza, Cottage and Gourmet Pizza.
It's time for another season of the Palmetto Porch, an original podcast from Discover South Carolina. I'm Devin Whitmire. Join me as I get to the heart of what makes South Carolina such a great place to visit by speaking to the locals who make it so special. Premiering December 5th, find the Palmetto Porch wherever you get your podcasts. And for more information about our show, visit scpalmettoporch.com.
Have you tried Penn Station East Coast Subs? There's 2 locations convenient in our area, Clifford Street, Frandor, and across from the Lansing Mall. Always a monthly special, and for April, how about the Italian subs? And you get it as a special as well. Either dine-in or carry-out. And from the Clifford Street, Frandor location, you can go ahead and order online, pick it up late, take it home after the restaurant closes later on in the evening. Fantastic food from Penn Station East Coast Subs every day of the year. New from Mindy McIntosh. She says, don't let uncertainty compromise your retirement. When you call 989-692-2200 or visit retirereadymichigan.com and get your Retire Ready Toolkit featuring the book Cultivate Wealth by Mindy McIntosh, CEO and founder of McIntosh & Associates. Again, call 989-692-2200 or visit retirereadymichigan.com. Retire with the advice from Mindy McIntosh, and you'll be happy. Does your business struggle with poor cell service inside the building, poor cellular signal in the place of work, and create communication problems with internal staff and outside clients? Businesses need to be aware of safety concerns in situations where immediate communication is needed to 911. Well, the Antenna Men are Cell Signal Pros. They've provided solutions to clients all over the state of Michigan. Cell Signal Pros, they provide solutions. The Antenna Men and Cell Signal Pros. Google, go online, and check this great company out. The iconic Coral Gables restaurant on Grand River Avenue in East Lansing, more than 90 years young, with so many loyal customers, so pleased that Coral Gables has survived the pandemic and is bigger and better than ever. catering, carry-out, employment opportunities, all of that at 337-1311. And the fish fries are spectacular on Friday night. When you've got some time to spare with friends and family, you know what the history's been like around that restaurant just east of the campus, Grand River Avenue. You'll always enjoy Coral Gables Restaurant, East Lansing. All right, golfers, beautiful weather. Don't forget the Mac Legends Golf Center is open for the new season on Grand River Avenue between Okemos and Williamston. They got some new features there you have to see for yourself that have just been installed. And Leading Edge Golf, the top retailer in the area for every golfer, 6 days a week, 12 months a year. Jolly Road across from Okemos High School. Questions at Leading Edge Golf. Call 349-7274.
From Spartan Stadium to Ford Field, we've got the sports opinions that matter to you. From the Driven Collision Studios, we make friends by accident. On the Game, 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m.
On we go from the Driven Collision Studios here at WVFN Radio. We mentioned earlier this morning and have brought, kept you up to speed through the week of everything going on tonight. Michigan State baseball at McLean Stadium tonight, Central Michigan University, and that's a baseball school in the Mid-American Conference. Should be a good one tonight, but most significantly for me, Brock, I'm there. I'm there because the weather now is baseball weather. You know, it's got my window of
tears in your eyes.
My
Tim.
window of opportunity is a little bit narrow, but when you have weather like this, it's and the facility is fab. I can't believe how good a shape the field's in, but it is. Michigan State baseball coach Jake Boss is on the other end of our line. I would think you must think it's manna from heaven when you, for all those days you've had to dress up with 17 layers or whatever it is, and then you get weather like we're now having and going to have. It makes it fun, especially tonight, because I would think it doesn't get much better than the scene we'll see on campus for a midweek matchup tonight. Fair to say?
Yeah, no question, Tim. It's going to be a beautiful night weather-wise. Our sales and marketing staff do a great job of getting the word out. And when the weather is good, we usually draw very, very well. So it should be a lot of fun tonight, especially with softball hosting Michigan over there at the same time. There should be a lot of people down at Old College Field tonight.
Yeah, I would think so. And it's in mint condition, and, we haven't been inundated by rain that gets the river up and everything, so the field's been terrific. When you have these midweek games like this, Jake, I would imagine especially Big Ten coaches have got decisions to make because, you're in the Big Ten race. Michigan State's in the middle of the pack going to Purdue for 3 this weekend. Purdue's got the same issue because they're in the middle of the pack, too. But there's a lot of season left. You've only played a quarter of the Big Ten games. So how do you determine lineup, pitching? Is much of that determined in advance, or if it comes down to the bitter end and we can get a win, but I got to use a guy I'd rather save, how do you figure that out?
Yeah, a little bit of both, Tim. A little bit of all of it, really. I think, obviously the weekend games are the important ones, and this being a Tuesday night, the guys in the bullpen, if we limit the pitch count, should be ready for Friday. But some of the times, as well, it's good for, maybe our midweek starter to get a little bit deeper into the game. And then we probably don't use him over the weekend or maybe in relief on Saturday, Sunday. It's a time for a lot of the young guys, to get some innings and, a lot of the freshmen to get out there and get an appearance and throw an inning or two here and there. And so, obviously the focus though is on the weekend. You want to have, as many guys fresh and available for Friday as you can. And so position player-wise, we're running probably around an 11, player, different types of rotations using 11 total guys. And so, most of our regulars will be out there tonight as well. And guys will be ready to play. But, it's a good opportunity for young guys in the midweek games to kind of get their feet wet for sure.
So I noticed, of course, your Notre Dame game on the road got wiped out. Is there a makeup date established for that, and will that game be made up?
Well, we both hope so. We talked about that last week when the game got canceled, and I think we're both looking for a mutual date that will fit in both of our schedules. So. To be determined right now. We'll probably reach out. Coach Stifler and I from Notre Dame will probably talk again next week and see if we can't figure out a good day to go down there.
I stumbled over, watching all the basketball over the weekend, I stumbled over the ACC network, and Notre Dame's at home playing Clemson. Notre Dame, they're in the ACC and these other sports, so their record in the league, their record's like 500, but in a league they were 2-11. And, of course, Clemson's got some flamethrower, and I think if I recall going back and forth, Jake, I think Clemson won that thing like 4-1. What I noticed, though, in the stadium, it appeared to me that they put artificial turf down, and I don't remember that when our kids were there. Is that new down there? Are they playing on artificial turf?
Yeah, they've had turf now for, I would say, the last maybe 7 or 8 years. Again, it makes a lot of sense in the north. They host a lot of tournaments in the summer, and which is, I'm sure, where you saw it watching your kids play. And so it just makes a lot of sense to have turf there because of the weather issues, because of, a lot of those things. So, yeah, they've had turf there for a while now.
Right. It's a well-known story that your pitching coach, Mark Vandermeed, left the team on March 20th. He underwent kidney, transplant surgery. What update can you give us? And can he have any contact or any opinion? Can he watch TV games or whatever and offer you any opinions from afar while he's recuperating? And could he be back with the team before the end of the season?
Yeah, so I talked to Mark yesterday, and, he's doing great. He's kind of getting sick and tired of being cooped up in the house and, try to get out and get some fresh air. But those are doctor's orders right now. But the transplant surgery went extremely well. His wife was his donor, which, it's really kind of a cool story because she was just about as perfect a match as you could have. So that obviously has certainly helped. But recovery's going well. He's starting to get some energy back and things like that. And time will tell, I guess. We'd love to have him back at some point if we can get him back, but that's up to him and his doctors. And I certainly understand if he's not able to make it back for the season here. But he's doing a lot of work at home. He's laid up on the couch or in bed, and so at that point he's doing some scouting report stuff for us and kind of getting his scouting reports turned into us, and then we can kind of relay that stuff to the players. And he's kept in contact with guys and vice versa, I think, which has been really important for both him and for our players. And so, it's going as well as can be expected right now. And he's slowly starting to get some strength back. And like I said, hopefully we can get him back here and in the dugout maybe for the last couple weekends of the season, but we'll see.
All right, that sounds good. For your pitchers, how much advanced scouting, if they get any at all, not necessarily like what the major leaguers have, but for whoever's throwing tonight, did they get any advance notice on CMU's hitters in any way, let alone Purdue's hitters in any way? Or is it pretty much cursory? What they do, they're going to have to do on their own and hope that works. What kind of advance can they get that would help them prepare for a game? Because you get scouting reports in basketball and football and all that. How's that work with baseball?
Well, it's a great question, Tim, because each guy's different, and each guy. There are some guys that like to know everything about the other team. There's some guys that don't want to know anything, and they will just, get the sign and throw it to the glove. And, so we as a staff, we're very prepared. We kind of know how to attack, the other team's hitters and things like that. And our catchers, we try to educate our catchers as well and give them the scouting report. But, it's really kind of up to each guy how he wants to do it. And at this level, we call a lot of the pitches at this level, and now in Mark's absence, we're having the catchers, prepare a little bit more and call more of the pitches. But, again, some guys really want to know and some guys don't want to know at all, because at the end of the day, if you throw it where you want to throw it, more often than not, you're going to be successful. So we try to keep it as simple as possible. But, again, it's up to each guy.
Before I let you go, I have a suggestion on the Crosstown Showdown, and I've thought about this for a couple of years. I get the fact that the Lugnuts use those wooden bats. That's what they play with. That's their profession. But it would seem to me that it's a disadvantage for Michigan State because I don't know why they forced this. I mean, they use wooden. Well, they're not used to wooden bats. They play with, aluminum bats. And I don't necessarily buy, it would be more dangerous. I mean, these are college players. These guys aren't major league stars. Unless you disagree with that, my sense is if the Spartans could use their regular bats, would it make the games more competitive? Do you have a thought on that? Is that an issue with you? And furthermore, if they play in that game, Jake, with wooden bats, could that throw some timing or something off or sync off for some of those guys for the games that come afterward during the regular season schedule?
Yeah, I don't know if it plays that big of a role in it, to be quite honest with you, Tim. I mean, certainly, given the choice, I would prefer to, hit with an aluminum bat. But, at the same time, it's it's a game against the pro guys, and, try to keep the playing field, I guess, as level as possible. I don't, our guys play with wood bats all summer, and so they're certainly used to that. They practice with wood bats, and, every guy wants to play pro ball, and obviously it's going to be wood when they play pro ball. So, with that being said, I don't know that it's a huge deal for us to use wood, but again, if there's no question that the ball jumps off the bat a little bit, a little bit faster off the aluminum bat. So if they give us that choice, we'll be happy to use them. But again, it's a fun night. I'm not going to get hung up in too many of those details because for us, it's really all about the experience of playing in front of a good crowd and a great organization, and in a fun atmosphere.
I know you only saw that Simpson kid for the Lugnuts just for his couple of swings, but those 2 home runs he hit, did that leave an impression on you, or did he just happen to catch it right? Or did you think, man, maybe this guy's got something that the Oakland A's are going to be able to use down the road?
Well, I saw him in one night, but, the 2 home runs are impressive. The opposite field home run for me was the most impressive one. And, guys that can backspin a ball to the opposite field and drive the ball out of the park, especially on a night like that where it was a little chilly, ball, really wasn't carrying a whole lot. But he squared that ball up and that's a pretty impressive feat, I think, especially there. And so there's a lot of room to run out there in that outfield. And for him to do that to the opposite field was pretty impressive.
Yep.
So that's why he's there. That's why he was a big draft. And, they like him there. And hopefully for him, he's not in Lansing long. And he can move up to the next level quickly.
Right. CMU at Michigan State tonight, 6:05 at McLean Stadium. A beautiful night for baseball. Then the Spartans are back in the Big Ten Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Purdue. And then they'll be back home again next week. We'll hope the weather will stay this way through the spring. Thanks, Jake. I always appreciate the time. Hi to the family. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
Jake Boss, he's the head baseball coach at Michigan State. We'll go to break. Callers on the Culling and Water hotline, stay right there. You're next out of this break. This is the Tuesday Sparrow Stout on Sports.
Here's what's on tap today here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN. Coming up after we're done at 1 o'clock, it's ESPN Radio, and then at 3, The Huge Show. At 6:35 tonight, Pistons basketball. They're at Philadelphia tonight playing the 76ers. Over on 1240 WJIM in 25 minutes. Yeah, 12:10 p.m. It is Tigers baseball. Tigers in Philadelphia. No, Tigers at the Pittsburgh Pirates, finishing up their 2-game series. Casey Mize throwing for the Tigers this afternoon. And then at 6:45 tonight, maybe the biggest game of the regular season for the Detroit Red Wings. They host the Washington Capitals tonight. Again, 6:45 with Ken Cal, Paul Woods, and Daniela Bruce. And that's what's on tap. The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
You're looking for a little quaint bistro for a getaway at any time after work. Well, the hot one in the area, as usual, in East Lansing, Sidebar. Right next to a Bood Law, okay, Abbott and Saginaw. It's wonderful for lunch or dinner or any special occasion where you don't want a jam-packed crowd, but there are televisions there to watch all the big games and a nice, quiet getaway. Try Sidebar. Google Sidebar. Take a look at what all they have for you. A wonderful menu, quaint, cozy atmosphere. Sidebar in East Lansing. Our friend Val Orlando has done so well with City Limits in Mason, right? Well, he also has an all-state insurance agency that you hear us talk about all the time. He has a new location now with same great service. Stop in and say hello. The new All-State office next to the Secretary of State's office on Cedar Street and College Road, just off 127. Call for information on all-state insurance options at Val Orlando's agency at 969-5300. That's 969-5300. Val Orlando's All-State Insurance.
At Shaheen Cadillac of Lansing, you drive the future with luxury at your fingertips. Experience our lineup of eye-catching sedans and SUVs. Cadillac is the next generation of high-end technology where remarkable comfort and attention to detail change the way you drive. Meet with one of our product specialists today or begin your experience online at ShaheenCadillac.com.
Get this 2024 Cadillac XT6 for just $592 a month.
Relax and enjoy the Shaheen difference.
One of the most popular restaurants in our area for years continues that way. Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road in East Lansing. As the saying goes, eat at Woody's, live longer with a Mediterranean cuisine. And now the menu has some wonderful new items they're all excited about. Chicken kafta, along with their Woody's burgers, gyros, fries, and a whole lot more. For all the information, the website, woodysoasis.com, or call 351-2280. Woody's. Eat at Woody's, Trowbridge Road, East Lansing, and live longer.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players. Pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Lansing Dr. Thomas Jameson has faithfully served thousands of Mid-Michigan families for more than 50 years, and he's excited to announce he's transitioning to CIMA, or the Capital Internal Medicine Associates. His new office phone, easy to remember, 374-7600. New office at 3955 Patient Care Drive in Lansing. And Debbie Jameson, renowned nutritionist, she can help you at 449-7188. The Jamesons, new office, new excitement, and still the same great health care service for you to continue. Michigan Plumbing, a leading provider of plumbing, drain cleaning, and water heater services to homeowners in the Mid-Michigan area. And you can get an expert in your home free for an evaluation. Call 322-2994. 24/7 emergency plumbing and drain services for the entire Mid-Michigan area. All home plumbing emergencies, all makes and models of equipment. What a great company it is. Michigan Plumbing. And they're right when they say we exceed your expectations. See for yourself. Michigan Plumbing today. If you're thinking about home renovation or adding or changing a deck at your home, you want Custom Built in Okemos. For more than 15 years, Custom Built Design and Remodeling has been the leading full-service design, build, remodeling company in mid-Michigan, and owner Michael Flory has built it from the ground up over the years. If you're curious about what the difference between a general contractor and a design build company is, you got to Google Custom Built in Okemos to see all they can do for you. We swear by Custom Built in Okemos, a great renovation company.
For more than 60 years, Dean Transportation and Dean Trailways have connected students to learning, public schools to our communities, sports teams to their championships, and you to a purpose-filled career. As the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics, Dean Trailways is the state's premier motor coach provider, connecting you to pure Michigan experiences. To learn more about group travel and to join the Dean team as our next champion driver, visit DeanJobs.com today. That's DeanJobs.com.
Dean Transportation is hiring school bus drivers and service technicians to support Lansing schools and Ingham ISD. Bus drivers start at up to $22 and competitive wages for service technicians. Dean has immediate openings and provides CDL training with increased starting pay, benefit packages, flexible scheduling with weekday hours and more. Dean Transportation is the career choice for you, and you can apply at DeanJobs.com and start training for your next route. Wow, Sparty's Coney Island and Frandor. They're open until 2 o'clock Tuesday, half-price Conies. All day Tuesday for dine-in or carry-out. Sparty's Coney. Tell Dominic behind the counter we sent you. Or just up the street, Clifford Street, Frandor, Penn Station, East Coast subs. The best subs anywhere. Everybody knows that. There's a monthly special. It's the Italian sub this month and across from the Lansing Mall. Penn Station, East Coast subs. You see just how great they really are.
Why would you argue with people online about sports when you can argue live over the airwaves?
Cut the BS and let's get to the truth.
Sports and Sports Talk is on the Game, 7:30 a.m.
On the go from the Driven Collision Studios here at WVFN Radio, the Driven Collision story of the day, probably the aftermath of college basketball season and the segue into a lot more spring sports, especially with the weather the way it is, unless we get something definitive coming up. On the Kalinga Waterall Hotline in Holt on this Tuesday morning, Karnak on the Sparrow Stout on Sports. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Tim and Brock. We always talk about basketball being subjective and the refs are always getting yelled at. And, I mean, coaches work the refs, and I understand that. But last night, when it was near the end of the game and UConn was up like 15 points, and all of a sudden Dan Hurley goes out on the court and pushes his player, and the ref stops the game and warns him, and then he goes ballistic on the ref because he was on the court. I mean, that's showing disrespect to the referee, in my opinion.
Well, like you say, it was a 15-point game at that time. So at that point, they're just trying, I guess,
Didn't
maybe
he do
to
that
get
in
it
the
over.
first half, though?
Well, he did. A lot of those coaches straddle that coach's line, to be sure. And there are times where you see a coach's foot on the court when plays going back and forth.
This guy was 5 feet on the court, Tim. Did you see that?
I guess I didn't. I mean, I guess I just,
Yeah, it happened in the first half, and Karnak, he should have got a technical foul for that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, I saw it at the end of the game. It was like maybe 2 minutes left. And, I mean, they were way up. And, I mean, I guess you got to be aggressive and stuff. But, you know, people that crowd the court line and that kind of, I just thought that was very disrespectful. And I thought it was disrespectful of how he treated the ref because he was whining because he got warned when he should have got a technical. And, you know, giving the ball to Purdue, I just thought that was not very classy.
All right. It's duly noted. Duly noted. I have a Pure Green Smith Tree Breaking Sports moment. Pure Green Smith Tree is available to help you at any time of the year at 703-1111. Dateline, East Lansing, Michigan. This just in from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. The girls and boys lacrosse finals will be played at the University of Michigan Lacrosse Stadium for the first time. One of the most notable changes for this season as sports ramp up for more than 100,000 athletes anticipated to participate this spring for Michigan High School Athletic Association member schools. The U of M Lacrosse Stadium opened in 2018. It seats 2,000 spectators. The girls' lacrosse finals will be played Friday, June 7th. For Division 1 and 2. The boys' lacrosse finals will be played the following day, June 8th. There are two divisions in lacrosse, both boys and girls. So there you go, Brock. The boys and girls lacrosse finals. I think one thing lacrosse has done is taken very good athletes and taken them away from perhaps other spring sports rosters. I'm not blaming it. I'm just saying the more the more sports you add, the more it thins the ranks of those athletes available in the spring to populate other rosters, and lacrosse is popular, right?
It's grown in popularity. By the way, girls lacrosse is going to 4 12-minute quarters this season instead of the previous 2 halves. That's what they're doing this year. So 4 12-minute quarters instead of 2 24-minute halves.
You tell me, when lacrosse is seen on TV, and occasionally you'll see it on the Big Ten Network
Once
and
in a while,
occasionally
yeah.
on some of these other sports networks, first, I don't know the rules, but
that's part of the problem.
Which is like gymnastics. I don't know the rules, but it's impossible for me to see. Is it just the ball going into the net? It's impossible for me to see that.
Yeah, kind of like a hockey puck.
I can see a hockey puck.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Well, compared to a lacrosse.
Okay.
I can't see where I can see him flip it around outside.
Well, right.
And, my brother-in-law and my nephew, he was a coach in lacrosse.
Oh, yeah, you talked about that.
And Jeff, our nephew, when he was growing up, he played lacrosse in high school. And they thought that the boys might get interested in it. So one Christmas, they gave us a couple of lacrosse, what are they called? Mallets? What are they called?
Sticks.
So
with baskets on the end of them.
And they gave us a couple of cross sticks. And it looked like they were expensive. And I told him the year later, I said, Daddy said, have you been using them? I said, absolutely, I've been using my lacrosse sticks. They're tremendous for scraping the weeds out of the woods and getting the weeds out of the bushes and getting the leaves. When
Why am I not surprised
you
by
got to
that?
collect the leaves out of the bushes. I said, those lacrosse sticks have really been good for that. So I said, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, because we've used those a great deal. I got more emails and a lot more coming up right out of the news. You join us in hour number 3 on the Culligan Water Hotline at 342-63. This is the Sparrow Stout on Sports.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Get in the zone.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
It's always game time.
Game on! Game on!
We're the game, 7:30 a.m. Welcome to the third and final hour of the Sparrow Stout on Sports, starring Tim Stout on the game, 7:30 a.m.
Hour number 3 this morning is brought to you by Capital Region International Airport. As we like to say, whenever you can do it, fly Lansing first. All right, Lansing first. How about Breeze Airways? All right, Breeze Airways, they're going to take you nonstop from Lansing to Orlando and to Fort Myers, and that'll be in the first week of October. All right, first week of October, and you can get discount tickets and make your reservations now. Because I'm thinking, Brock, of Capital Region International Airport. So Doc flew out of Lansing last night. There are problems that the airports have that is of absolutely...
Yeah, you were telling me about Doc's issues at the airport.
It's just an absolute classic, and this is why flying is such a classic for so many people, and it's no fault of the airport whatsoever.
In some cases, yeah.
So she's flying out to see her brother in Tucson, Arizona last night. So she's going... I dropped her off at 4:40 at the airport in Lansing for 6:20 American Airlines, Lansing, Chicago to Tucson. So... And so she had a little extra time that she was going to have to sit and wait because that's when I could drop her off because I had to go back to work, right? Okay. So no problem. She gets on a plane, 6:20. Plane goes out to the tarmac. No big deal. Beautiful weather, ready to go. And the word comes in to American Airlines, the pilot of the plane, that they are going to be held on the Lansing tarmac because the President of the United States in Air Force One is landing for a fundraiser in Chicago, which is, how should I say this, has messed up the air traffic coming in and out. And until they can give the VIP treatment to Air Force One, this is going to affect planes taking off to go in. So, long story short, so she's texting me. Now, the problem is because that's a regional jet, Brock, I don't think they had any way of plugging in your cell phone to charge it while on the plane. So I know doggone well your cell phone's going down. So she's telling me we're sitting here, and we're sitting at the end of the tarmac waiting to go. And the pilot says, well, we're waiting to get the word that we can take off so there's a place to land when we get in there. They sat on the tarmac for 2 hours before they let the Lansing flight to Chicago go. And fortunately, her connection to Tucson was backed up 20 minutes because of its own issues getting out because of Air Force One. So because of that, she did not miss her connection to get to Tucson. But I'm telling you, if you fly long enough, I can still remember sitting 4 hours on the plane at Metro a couple years ago, going to see the kids in New York.
Glad I wasn't there with you.
And we were ready to go. Door closes, and we sat there on the plane for 4 hours. And I tell the Buttigieg, whoever's in charge of all that, you got to change the rules that if you're going to be on that plane more than 20 minutes, deplane and put them all back on again. 4 hours we sat on the plane. This is a couple of years ago. And they'll let you. They didn't back out because it was thunderstorms, and you could see them going through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and we're going for a reunion or whatever it was on that weekend, just to Detroit LaGuardia, as simple as that. And they finally, cell phones are going down, all that kind of stuff. And they said to us, if anybody wants to get off, you can get off, but you can't get back on, so you forfeit the flight. 3 or 4 got off. But we were sitting across from a pilot who was flying on the flight because he was going to get his plane to fly somebody to San Francisco that night for another airline. He was in the jump seat or whatever. He was there. But 4 hours later, and I said to her, I'm never doing this thing. I said, I'm getting off. I mean, I can't sit here cooped up like this. So the good news is the pilot comes and said, great news, they're going to let us go. That was the good news. The bad news was that weather backed up everybody at Metro. So taking off, we were like the 25th plane in line to get out. If you know airports and you're the 25th plane in line, you got another 30 minutes or so where you're out there waiting to get your turn to take off. If you fly enough, if you travel enough, you know what it is. But anyway, so Doc, she made it. But sitting on the Lansing Airport tarmac, you think you're going, short flight over the lake. And we're in, and she would have, been able to relax a little bit, and she had to run like crazy. And but
at least she made the flight to.
But it's no fault of the airport. Frankly, no fault of the airline. But apparently, if you're the president of the United States, whoever you are, and you're in Air Force One and you're going somewhere, you get priority. I didn't know that. Does he fly first class on Air Force One, or do they have seats in the back where you can get a better deal? I don't know how that works. I passed that on just because that happened last night.
And Tim, you've been asking.
Do we have the pairings? We have the Masters pairings for Thursday and Friday, which will be the driven collision story of the day on the eve of the Masters You Pick'em.
All right. Well,
we don't need to give all of them.
No, I'm not going to. But
where my favorite lid? I'll be wearing my live hat in here tomorrow.
Of course you will. The first group is is literally a pair, not a threesome. Eric Van Rooyen and Jake Knapp tee off at 8 a.m. on Thursday morning.
So that's where is that group. After the ceremonial?
Yes.
Then who are the ceremonial threesome again?
Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, and Tom Watson.
What did they ever win?
Well, almost everything. Tom Watson didn't win the PGA.
What did they? By the way, when they do tee off, is there a long drive competition for those guys? Do they?
Stop.
Oh, sorry.
Stop. Let's see here.
What's the first noteworthy pairing at Augusta for tomorrow morning?
9:36, Phil Mickelson, Sepp Straka, Tony Finau.
See, I wouldn't have done it that way. Why does Mickelson get guys that he'll get along with?
Let's see.
That's 9:36 tomorrow?
Yeah.
So we can follow Philly Mick tomorrow morning.
No, Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. I'm sorry. Thursday when we can follow him Thursday morning.
Gary Woodland, Thorbjorn Olsen, Bryson DeChambeau. That's at 8:48 before that. Moving on. Let's see.
Where's the man? When's he going? Where's the man? Who's he paired up with?
John Rahm goes off with Matt Fitzpatrick and Nick Dunlap at 10:30. Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele at 10:42.
What did they ever win?
Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, Cam Smith, 10:54. Oh, let's see. I'm looking for Tiger Woods.
I would have thought Woods would be going earlier in the day to give him time to recover, but I don't see him anywhere in there in the early going whatsoever.
Justin Rose, Eric Cole, Peter Malnati at 12.
Oh, so he's going to go afternoon morning, which means his recovery time from Thursday to Friday is going to be minimal.
Right. Keegan Bradley, Matthew Pavon, and Tyrell Hatton, who's a live guy. They're at 1 p.m. And let's see. Man,
there's
Tiger Woods, 1:24 p.m. Tiger Woods, Jason Day, Max Homa.
Hey, hang on, hold on to that. Max Homa, Jason Day. Oh, they got two guys with him that he'll get along with. They won't have any problem with Jason Day and Max Homa.
Yeah.
So what, 1:24 is when Tiger plays?
Yes.
So we get off the air Thursday, so you can go right to, what is
Masters.com.
ESPN?
Well, they're not going to go on the air until about
See, I thought
3 o'clock.
I thought about a deference to Tiger. I thought what they would do was put him in the morning on Thursday so that he'd have recovery time for Friday afternoon to give him a better chance to make the cut.
But they're not gonna do that. Brooks Koepka, Tom Kim, Brian Harmon at 1:36, Jordan Spieth, Sahith Theegala, Ludwig Oberg at 1:48. Excuse me. Had to sneeze there. And the very last group at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Dustin Johnson, Colin Morikawa, Tommy Fleetwood. there you go.
Dan Olson is texting me, and I would prefer to get him Friday. He's saying to me there is a rough draft that is now complete of a Live PGA Tour deal. Brock, you tell me, what does this mean? He says 70 PGA and 30 Live players, and then there will be a cut. I texted back more details because that doesn't fill in enough.
No.
Now,
But that's just what he's hearing.
Yeah, but he's on the inside.
Yeah,
but the issue is,
no.
Why do I want to call him on Tuesday when I'd rather get him Friday so he can react to the first round?
I would save him till Friday.
And give me a little more dirt. Now, if he has this, then more than likely, with all the Masters World media in Augusta, this is going to get out one way or the other. What time is the last tee time on Thursday?
2 p.m., like I said. Dustin Johnson, Colin Morikawa, Tommy Fleetwood. And, where are the Friday tee times? Let me see. Tiger Woods tees off at 10:18 on Friday.
So
with Day and Homa.
So his round won't be complete when we're on the air Friday, but when I'm talking to Olson on Friday, I can say, hey, Tiger just made a double bogey. What are you thinking? One way or the other. I'd like to know what the betting is. I'd have to look this up because there's a million ways you can bet the Masters on DraftKings. What's the odds on him making the cut? And if he does make the cut, then what are the odds on him finishing 4 rounds? Because he's made the cut previously, Brock, but then he hasn't been able to finish the 4 rounds.
Right.
So there you go. So Scheffler, again, he's
10:42 a.m. and he's with McIlroy and Schauffele and 140.
I tell you what, you don't think that's a premier threesome, do you?
Oh my goodness!
I mean, you don't think that's a premier threesome? Scheffler, McIlroy, and Schauffele.
That's pretty much that's right up there. And let's see, the last pairing on Friday is Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, and Cam Smith. That's pretty good right there. There's a lot of good ones out there.
Olson says the top 30 from the LIV, Monahan is trying to weasel himself into the new tour as a commissioner, but I don't quite understand what the numbers are. And I'm hoping this, gets into the other media so I can get all the details.
Right.
But when they were saying they want to get, when McIlroy said last week, they got to get on a fast track to get this thing done because golf is losing its pizzazz with the public.
And they need to set some kind of a schedule for 2025.
The first order of business is what are we going to do with the 2 tours to merge? What are we going to do? What are we going to do to get all those top players back to where they're going to merge? Who's Koepka playing with? Do you have Koepka's?
Yeah, I gave you Koepka's. Let me see.
They all ran together because I thought for sure Tiger was going to play in the Thursday morning.
Brooks Koepka, 1:36 on Thursday with Brian Harmon and Tom Kim, 10:30 a.m. on Friday.
So the Live players are mixed in for the most part with the PGA guys. They didn't go all Live or all PGA because there are 13. These are the Quality Dairy stats. 13 of the 89 players in the field, or 16%, I guess that is, are Live players that are in the field. So there you go. All right, we got callers on the Culligan Water Hotline in Lansing. Craig's up.
We got a break.
Oh, hang on,
We're right at
guys.
break. Craig, hang on.
Not my call. And we'll be right back. A high five to Dewey Bramson's 3 great area restaurants of different offerings. Beggar's Banquet, Abbott Road, East Lansing, off the main strip. A superstar in the area since 1973. Great happy hours from 4 to 6 Monday through Friday with a wonderful wine and beer list, great for private parties. The Nut House, downtown Lansing, across from the ballpark. Michigan Avenue. Any great gathering is there for you before or after big events. And the Harrison Roadhouse, Michigan and Harrison in East Lansing. A bustling bar and grill with hearty pub grub and a whole lot more. Those are the great 3 from Dewey Bramson. These are exciting times at iDevelopment, a company that has been so terrific around the mid-Michigan area for so many years. The latest for us now from Nathaniel Light. Nathaniel?
Hello, Tim. Thanks for having me. Lots going on in all markets, starting with downtown Lansing. You're seeing more people on the streets, in the offices, back to work. It's a great sign. And in fact, in our building, the Knapp's building, in the spring, summer, you're going to see a great new concept called the Makata Club. It's a food hall concept with new businesses as an incubator. It's really going to bring stuff, bring people, bring small businesses, and a great food concept and bar to downtown Lansing. Pay special attention in East Lansing to Hannah Plaza and to our retail property, Woodland Square in Okemos. Lots of good retail concepts for you to visit there. Check us out.
Google iDevelopment. It's such a wonderful company, helping people in so many different ways. It's been that way for the years. eye development to help you. Infinity Chiropractic, serving our area for 40 years under the ownership of Dr. Harry Satimi. Their offices cover the area between East Lansing, St. Joe Highway, and Lansing and Grand Ledge. They're always accepting new patients. They welcome patients of all ages and enjoy caring for infants, children, expectant mothers, and families. Stop in at any of the 3 offices and be sure to find a family you'll see that are having their spines checked and fixed. A total of 6 chiropractors between the 3 offices. Infinity Chiropractic. Spring has sprung, and the dandelions, are they coming to invade your lawn? Why not? They do everybody else's. Well, you can call Pure Green at 703-1111 to get started. Be the envy of the neighborhood with the best-looking lawn. Green grass, no dandelions, and they can do it at Pure Green with great pricing and prepaid discounts available. So don't wait. Call 703-1111. That's puregreenlawn.net, online for information there. Pure Green Lawn, taking care of your lawn all year long.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players. Pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
The prestigious Abood Law Firm has offices in East Lansing and Birmingham and has been around since 1956. 332-5900, Abbott and Saginaw and East Lansing. Abood Law understands it's essential to get an attorney involved in your legal issues as early as possible. If you're dealing with legal problems, contact Andrew Abood and his great staff at Abood Law in East Lansing immediately, and you'll get the help that you need and can depend on. Abood Law, we heartily endorse Andrew Abood Law, 332-5900. Golf season never ends at Indian Hills in Okemos off Hamilton Road. A little 9-hole course, which is great for league play or for beginners. But in the off season, that's where they make clubs, repair clubs, change clubs, adjust clubs. J.C. Peterson says anytime, call us 349-1010. And anytime when you're looking for special gifts, they always have special closeouts in their pro shop. 9 holes, Indian Hills in Okemos, 349-1010. If you want a club adjusted, call J.C. Peterson. The best barbecue in our area. Brisket, beef, everything under the sun. Smoke and Pig Barbecue on West Saginaw near the Lansing Mall. Brian Torok says, hey, we've got our trailer that'll go to all the special occasions, maybe yours at any time during the year. And the sports bar is within a year old now with many big screen TVs and all the mouth-watering menu items for you at any time of the day or night. Go to the website for Smoke and Pig Barbecue for any special occasion. Treat your friends and guests to the best mouth-watering barbecue anywhere. The official printer of Stout on Sports, the best printer, best print shop I've seen in the area, ASAP Printing in Okemos. West Jolly Road on the strip mall just off Okemos Road. Ed Giles got it. It's easy to find. You park right in front. It's clearly marked. 349-7300 with any questions. ASAP Printing. All right, if you need signage for getting your people back to work, Florida Cals, informational posters, yard signs, banners, all that because of the pandemic or anything, that's ASAP Printing, where no job is too big or too small in Okemos. Beautiful day for a touch-free car wash at Lake Lansing Road Mobile right across from the Eastwood Town Center. Reduces the price of gas by 25 cents per gallon. It's a state-of-the-art wash. They have some job openings. Check with Rich on that. And they'll fix the vehicle on their service bays Monday through Friday at 484-2300. When you're in the Eastwood Town Center, there's a Culver's by Walmart. Whenever you order from that one Culver's, you mention Stout on Sports to get a 10% discount on your price.
The Game 730 AM studio is powered by Driven Collision. We make friends by accident.
On we go from the Driven Collision studios. I have some advice for the fans on hand at PNC Park at this hour in Pittsburgh. I would not heckle either the Pirates or the Tigers because they outnumber them in the dugout, those that are in the stands. It's an old Dick Raddatz line. He said, they better not boo us because we outnumber them in the dugout. Let's just say there are good seats still available at PNC Park. They're due to
the players and the coaches and the managers can go into the stands and thank the fans individually.
They can pose for selfies, and each fan gets a player or a coach all to himself.
Just might.
And there might be maybe 100 people there in PNC Park in Pittsburgh.
Well, we'll have a better idea once the game starts, but
well, then it could go to 200. Yeah, because it's a late arriving crowd.
I suppose, yeah.
In Lansing, Craig's on the Culligan Water Hotline on the Tuesday Sparrow Stout on Sports. Morning, Craig.
Hey, good morning, Tim. I've got a couple golf questions. And one of them is kind of, say you're sitting on the plane and you hear a couple guys talking, you're waiting that 4 hours or 2 hours before you get off, and they keep butchering it's a tradition like no other. And they, instead of saying that, they're saying, it's like they say the Masters. It's a tradition that's, just not the same as other traditions. And they keep messing that up. Would you feel it necessary to correct them at some point? Because to me, I'm a perfectionist. I might let it slide once. How many times do you let it go before you have to step in and fix these people up?
I don't know what, Brock, that has gone. Thanks, Craig. That's gone, a tradition unlike any other?
What CBS always says, a tradition unlike any other.
I
Masters
thought
on
a condition
CBS.
unlike any other is when Brock tends to agree with me on anything of a nature of sports. That's a tradition unlike any other when he comes around to agree with something I pass on. DeWitt, Dave, he's next on the Culligan Water Hotline. Morning, Dave.
Morning, guys. Couple of things. One, the Red Wings. This is the biggest game of their season because they can get a little bit of a threat of separation, I guess, toward the playoffs. But if the Red Wings don't make the playoffs, how much longer are the fans going to love their new general or their old general manager, Stevie Yzerman, and the coach there? Because you can only bask in mediocrity so long in a tradition-rich environment that the Red Wings have, and they've lost crowd. They've lost favor with a lot of people. It's not that they hate them; they just don't pay attention anymore.
Well, I mean, the arena's filled on every single home game. I mean, their arena's filled. Not only that. When you say mediocrity, I claim if you go into the playoffs, you get knocked out in the first round. That's mediocrity. You just happen to be in the playoffs at the bottom end.
But that's progress because they haven't been in the playoffs since 2016.
But their fan interest is, frankly, as high as it's been in years.
Yeah, see, I don't notice that because I don't follow them. I can't. I'm in Florida in the winter, and you get no coverage on anything like that except for the Tampa Bay. The Rays down there. The other thing is tomorrow, if you got the Masters.com, you can watch those premier threesomes or foursomes or twosomes. I guess threesomes throughout the entire thing uninterrupted. It's quite a little show on your computer if you care to dial in after you've made your pick tomorrow on your program.
Yeah, no, I have the Masters app, Brock. I've had that for some time, and during the tournament, the Masters app gives you absolutely everything you could possibly want to see.
It's absolutely terrific.
I think I've got 3 friends that are going to their very first Masters Saturday and Sunday, and so, and I said we've been to 3. And I said I think most sporting events are a little bit overhyped if you see them for the first time, but the exception I make to that is when you step foot on the grounds for the very, very first time at Augusta National. Now, if you don't like golf, then this doesn't pertain to you. If you do like golf, you've seen that club, you've seen all those shots because they're the same shots every year, but it lives up to the hype. Just where it's played, there isn't one single blade of grass out of place. There's no twig. There's no mulch. There's nothing. Their budget. And I still remember, and we were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and believe me, going up and down. If Tiger thought he was tired, I had to take Advil for the Sunday round the last time we were there because after 2 days of going up and down those hills, by day 3, because we chased them all over the place to see the whole thing, which you don't notice on TV nearly as much or the breadth of those hills, which is going to be the issue for Woods. Is it going to? I mean, he may play well for 1 round, then 2 rounds. He might even get through the 3rd. But if it gets down to day 4, going through those, those you can't ride a cart, and they don't drive you from one tee to the next over there.
No, they don't even allow it for the senior tour players like Couples and Oathable and. Well, Mickelson normally would be, but, he's on the LIV. So.
I told him, don't buy your souvenirs till you're leaving because you don't know where to put them. Don't take your cell phone in there because they're going to.
Oh, don't buy souvenirs. Don't
buy them first time. You got them at the end because
Gotcha.
they'll be open all night because as long as the demand's there. But then you can leave with them at any day. But the thing that gets you first when you get on those grounds is it's just mind-boggling to me how they've got that thing manicured. And even with the crowds, and their crowds have grown dramatically through the years, the number of people that they let in that place. I think they would be better served to figure out a way to get some video boards in there just so people can follow the action the way they do at the other tournaments, but they don't do that.
They don't do that.
They don't do it because they don't have to do that.
They are manned.
They just put up the red and black numbers, and you can go look at the scoreboards, and there's nothing electronic about any of that.
It's old school. It just is.
As they say, it's a tradition unlike any other. Delta Township, Dan's next on the Cullingwood Water Hotline. Morning, Dan.
Hey, Tim, how you doing today?
Good. What's up?
Yeah, you've been talking about the Masters, and that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. But can I comment for a few minutes on when you were talking about the title game last night?
Sure.
Yep, and then something that you said, kind of, surprised me. I thought you were wrong, but I double checked, and you're indeed correct because you said this would have been, Purdue's first title. I thought, that they won it back in the 30s when John Wooden was a senior guard there, but apparently they're kind of recognized as the champion back then, but that was actually before the tournament, so they're not the official champion. But anyway, I did just second your thoughts on the whole the game starting time. I didn't really care who won or who lost, but I watched the first half, and then I would have probably watched the whole game if it would have started about 8 o'clock or so. But that 9:20 tip-off, that's just too late.
I think you're going to find when the numbers come out, Brock, you're going to see a massive drop-off at 11 o'clock because the game really wasn't necessarily in doubt. I mean, I thought the game was dull. I'm dull from the standpoint they played hard. But neither team. I mean, obviously Connecticut looked better because Connecticut is better, and Connecticut was incredibly well prepared to make life tough for Purdue. And if you'd have told people before the game that Edey's going to get 37 points and 10 rebounds, you say, this could be Purdue's night. But that's exactly what they were willing to let happen. We're going to shut down the other four, and boy, did they shut down the others.
Pretty much.
For the Purdue team, and ended up getting beat by 15. And frankly, I'm not sure it couldn't have been more if Connecticut had to pour it on a little bit more. All right, I got... let's see. I got some emails here, or some emails.
Yeah, let's get to those before we get to our last
good
break.
afternoon, Tim and Brock. Our granddaughter Kate makes her debut tonight working in marketing at the Lugnuts home opener. Brock, if you run into Kate at tonight's game, wish her all the best from Graham and Grandpa in Grand Haven.
All right.
Kate is just finishing her sophomore year at Michigan State. Her area of study is business and sports marketing. Fletcher Lawyer,
Lansing's a great place to start.
Then this guy says, Fletcher Lawyer, oh my, talk about a no-show. UConn, efficient, quick offense and stifling defense, showing they deserve the title. I like Spencer for UConn, always in the right place at the right time. Enjoying the great weather. Who isn't around here, okay? Let's see, what else do I have here? Harry Jaden, the Michigan State tennis coach, he's putting out notes today because his team won easily over Purdue and Indiana on Senior Day this last weekend to give Michigan State 20 wins and first place in the Big Ten with Ohio State and Michigan. And as Harry Jaden, the Michigan State men's tennis coach, writes, this means we have a huge road weekend with matches at Ohio State and Penn State with a Big Ten title on the line coming up.
Now, do they have a Big Ten championship tournament? I'm
men's tennis has been so nondescript around here, like softball, for so many years. Now, with Harry there, they've kind of turned the culture around a bit. But it's not although they had some spectators, Brock, over the weekend. There was some wind on Sunday, but they still played outside and they did well. Tim, the Toothless Tigers are again starting 2 catchers today. I am starting to agree that Hinch is one of the biggest problems for the Tigers. I don't like Hinch simply because I think he's haughty. I think he's fooled the media down there. But that's easy.
Tim,
to
I've
fool.
said-
to
Tim,
me,
I've
it's
said
so
the same
easy
thing.
to fool the Detroit media
Yeah,
and the variety.
'cause
He's fooled the Detroit media, but I don't
he's
think he
got 'em
has any
snowed.
regard for the fans.
Nope.
And I don't think he has any regard for the traditions of the game in any way, shape, or form.
We are in agreement there. I don't think he knows what he's doing when it comes to running a pitching staff, but he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and he'll tell you he's smarter than everybody else because that's just the way he acts.
Hi, Tim. My husband and I drove to Ohio yesterday as my husband really wanted to be in the line of totality. The trip to Ada, Ohio, south of Lima, should have taken 4 hours each way from northern Michigan. The trip took 5 hours to get there, 6 hours to get home. At times, we were traveling 30 miles an hour. Once the eclipse was happening, it got completely dark for 4 minutes. I've never experienced anything like it, and I'm that much of an astronomy fan. And I'm that much of an astronomy fan. Janet in St. Helen, Michigan. Because we were talking about
that's
the
up north.
eclipse earlier.
St. Helen, Michigan's up north, yeah.
And then I was talking about the Michigan women's golfer yesterday in the Chattanooga tournament who shot 61. Tim, speaking of Michigan women's golf, Monet Chun shooting 61. I made reference to this because it's a big deal in the college women's golf world. This emailer says Haley Borja finished in the top 10 at that Augusta tournament last weekend. Borja made it to the Final Four of the U.S. Amateur last fall at Bel Air Country Club. Jan Dowling, the Michigan coach, is a former assistant for Stacy Slobodnik-Stoll at Michigan State. So I have that in for you. What else tickles your fancy in any way, shape, or form? The Driven Collision story of the day now is that the pairings are out for the Masters. Tomorrow is our You Pick 'em. When do you want people to start calling? Because traditionally through the years, they call in here at 8:30 in the morning and go on hold.
Do not call before the show starts. Do not call at 9:30. I will not answer. You start calling when you hear the Masters theme. When you hear the Masters theme, then you can call.
Because usually we come on and say, because there's a lot of other things. This is not just a golf show. I've long said, you give me your golfer, and then we'll talk about whatever. It is not a golf show per se, other than the fact that you're going to get, that's first come, first serve. We pay the top 3 players and ties. And we got a great prize package. It took us a few months to get it all assembled at the start of the new year, but we've got great prize packages. And you know Scheffler's going to be the first pick.
Probably.
People are going to be falling all over it. And would you take Scheffler or would you take the field? See, that's easy for me. I want the field.
Take the field, yeah,
I want
would.
the other 88 guys.
Yeah.
So that's tomorrow. And then Thursday, we'll be keeping our eye on the first round, right? And Friday,
Kimberly and Comparoni will probably be on Thursday, amongst other possibilities.
And then Friday, we'll catch up with Olson because he claims that he's been texting me, which he never does, says we've got a rough draft of an agreement between Liv and the PGA Tour, but I'm waiting to see that come from other media so I can get it in detail,
right,
over and above the quick text that he has sent me. I mean, in a perfect world, I would have called him and said, give me all the details, but I don't, we want him Friday because then he can predict the weekend and look at what happened in day one, and we can move from there. So that's what we got coming up, later in the week. The Tigers are on Bally Sports right now. They're underway in the game at Pittsburgh. It's not much of a home field advantage for the Pirates because there are very, 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 very few fans there, and the weather looks like it's very good.
Oh, and Lugnuts manager Craig Conklin's going to be on tomorrow at 12:05.
And the Lugnuts open tonight, of course. They open at, 6:05?
6:05.
Are there any ceremonies to open the home schedule? Lugnuts come in 1-2 after losing 2 out of 3. They come in with a 2-game losing streak.
Right.
Those are their quality dairy numbers. The Great Lake Loons are in tonight. Is it taco whatever?
I looked on the Lugnuts website, LansingLugnuts.com, and I couldn't see. Maybe they're doing something. I think they're doing something different because it's opening night.
If I would have thought that out of loyalty you'd have given me some free food, I'd be there.
See?
But at State, maybe things will be better because there are 2 games at State tonight between the Michigan State softball game at 6:30 and the baseball game, which starts at 6:05 against Central Michigan. I guess maybe that might be a place to mosey in tonight because the weather is within my framework.
Well, no, it's a little bit cool, but you know what?
I'll rally.
Yeah.
I'll rally.
See?
We have one final timeout. You can still join us. We have one more segment, and then we move on to You Pick 'em Masters Wednesday. That's a tradition unlike any other, the first of the 4 You Pick 'ems for the golf season. This is the Tuesday Sparrow Stout on Sports.
Here's what's on tap today here on the game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN. Coming up tonight, 6:45, 12:40 WJIM. Big one for the Red Wings, maybe their biggest regular season game of the season. They're hosting Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals tonight. 6:45 pregame, Ken Cal, Paul Woods, Daniela Bruce. Here on WVFN, 6:35 Pistons basketball. Mark Champion, Rick Mahorn have the call from Philly as they're at the Philadelphia 76ers. That's what's on tap. The game, 7:30 a.m. WVFN.
Culver's in the Eastwood Town Center. You always mention Stout on Sports at that one location. You always get 10% off. Open 10:30 to 10. You can even call in advance to have your order delivered to you curbside right on time. No waiting in line at 374-1301, okay? You'll love all the different options you have from Culver's, especially at this time of the year when you want to use the drive-through. Culver's has been red hot. Again, call in advance with your order at Culver's in the Eastwood Town Center, 374-1301. Since 1984, DBI, they do office, everything for the office at 912 East Michigan Avenue in Lansing. DBI provides workspace solutions from pens and paper to space planning and movable walls. One call, one source, one solution. Everything for the office, whether it's for your business or your home office. Nobody does it better than DBI. Again, 485-3200. The best deals, the best options, the best planning. DBI of Lansing. If you can't imagine a morning without pain, the highly skilled specialists at Sparrow Orthopedics and Sports Medicine are here for you. Sparrow is the largest orthopedics and sports medicine program in mid-Michigan, offering a range of services, including trauma, rehabilitation, surgery, and joint replacement. And the Sparrow team is nationally recognized and certified as a Blue Distinction Center of Excellence. Their physicians have great experience treating athletes of all types from high school to the pros. You can learn more about the leading edge medicine. Go to sparrow.org/orthopedics. Capital Region International Airport, whenever you can do it. Fly Lansing first. It's so much more convenient. And now let's go ahead and tell you about Breeze Airways, okay? Providing nonstop service from Lansing to both Orlando and Fort Myers in Florida beginning early in October, and you can book your tickets now. Whenever you can do it, you know what the conveniences are. Cheaper parking, much easier to get through all of the security, and just checking in and out right away. Whenever you can do it, we say fly Lansing first and take Breeze Airways in the fall now, Lansing to Florida.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players. Pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
And now to the chopper for our traffic report.
There's a lot of traffic. It must be headed to Meijer for the Buy 5, Save $5 sale. Shop select General Mills family size cereal, Oikos Greek yogurt, and select Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. All Buy 5, Save $5. Mix or match at Meijer.
Okay.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
One of the great success stories I've seen in Lansing business through the years is the growth of Desmond Ferguson's Moneyball Sportswear, founded in 2002. The former standout area basketball player already has a gorgeous store in the Meridian Mall, and his new headquarters location now at 927 West Saginaw in Lansing, it's up and running. Moneyball outfits hundreds of athletic teams worldwide, and its athletic leisure wear draws rave reviews. If you have questions, call 393-0763. You're a winner when you outfit your team or yourself in Moneyball Sportswear. Way to go, Desmond Ferguson. Moneyball, the only way to ball. Prestige Wine Imports. Importers of a distinguished and diverse portfolio of high-quality Italian wines from the Italian Alps to Sicily. Well, they've now made their way to the mid-Michigan area, and the Sono Rosso and Mezza Corona wines are as popular as ever with mid-Michigan wine enthusiasts. You can find the Sono Rossos and Mezza Coronas at Dusty's Cellar in Okemos on Grand River Avenue. Ask Matt Rhodes about those, and maybe he'll give you a taste test. Or Horrocks on the west side. Sono Rosso and Mezza Corona wines, you'll love them. All right, as we roll on here on the Sparrow Stout on Sports, Brookshire Inn in Williamston, okay, they could use a little help in a pro shop. It's a wonderful place to special occasion at any time during the year. You can call Brookshire Inn at 655-4694. Tom's Food Center serving you in Okemos and Portland. The creation of the entire family to make them in and out with convenient service, and man, have they been busy. And don't forget the Munn team are realtors who get results. John and Jan, together through the years, have helped so many people buying, selling, or just with good advice. John's cell phone is 881-6623. You'll find Jan at 282-6781.
Back to the best in sports talk now. We're Lansing's #1 source for sports talk. The Game, 7:30 a.m.
On the go from the Driven Collision Studios. Tigers put together 3 base hits in the first inning, scored a run at the end of 1/2 inning. Tigers won, Pirates nothing. Casey Mize is on the mound for the Tigers in the bottom half of the first inning, so maybe we'll have an update before we get off the air. Tigers off tomorrow, begin a 4-game home series with the Minnesota Twins, and that begins on Thursday. The big hockey game tonight, Washington and Detroit. I think that's on ESPN as well. By the way, I'm getting some reaction that's coming in now on the Masters pairings that are controversial. Augusta National knows.
It is ESPN, Washington, Detroit.
That Brooks Koepka hates a slow pace of play. So what did the committee do? They've paired him with a guy who club waggles 14 times before every shot, Brian Harman, and that will drive Koepka absolutely nuts. But even if he wasn't in the same group, have you seen Harman play with those club waggles he does?
Not that much.
Yeah, well, and Koepka, let me tell you, if it affects Koepka's pace, which it will, it gets to him dramatically. Now, whether there was method to the madness or not, you got a PGA guy with a live player, which is what Koepka is. Koepka has 5 major championships, so it's not as if he's just entering this thing on a wing and a prayer.
Nope, he's the defending and reigning PGA champion. He won the PGA championship last year at Oak Hill. He's got 3 PGA championships and 2 U.S. Opens.
So there you go. Let's go back to the Culligan Water Hotline on Lansing. Tim's on the Tuesday Sparrow Stout on Sports. Good morning.
Good morning, Tim. How long has Eisen been with the Wings as GM? Has it been like 6-7 years already?
5 years.
Yep, coming to the end of his 5th year.
Yeah, this is year number 5 for him.
And didn't Eisman turn Tampa Bay?
Well, he was the general manager when they
built it. Yeah,
they won 1 or 2.
Well, he's responsible for it, but he left before they started winning cups. But he did the heavy lifting.
Right. He's the one that developed that team, though.
Yes, largely.
That's why the Red Wings went after him.
Yep, he's coming to the end of the 5th year with the Red Wings, and they've made tangible progress every single year.
And he hasn't done nothing for the Red Wings.
Well,
Tim, that depends on how you define the.
Where they were
I claim
garbage.
It's no big deal for any team that makes the playoffs and then just gets bounced out in the first round. To me, you either make some kind of a run.
But Tim, they have not been in the playoffs since 2016.
Well, that's the argument.
So if they get in, that shows the fans they need.
Like who might they play? By the way, if you have a hunch on that,
the New York. Well, let me look here. If they get in, it would be. It could be a couple, 2 or 3 different teams. Well, it would be Boston.
Well, good luck.
Or Boston or the Rangers outside chance Carolina. Good luck with all 3.
Good luck with any of that. That's what I'm saying.
The best. I think the best chance they would have would be against Boston, but they would probably play the New York Rangers, and they'll be fortunate to win 1 game in that series.
That's my whole point. I mean,
but Tim, if they get in, that's progress. They haven't been in since 2016.
Yeah, I guess.
See, this is what I deal with.
Yeah, I guess it is. Call me when the Cup finals.
See,
should I get my Cup final playoff tickets yet? Because I just unloaded my World Series tickets. I had them all ready for the Tigers and the Dodgers, and then reality started to set in. So now I've dumped those babies. You know what I mean?
Oh boy,
I had to dump them because it just it just didn't work.
But they got to win. They got to win at least. They got 5 games left? They got to win at least 3 and maybe 4 to get in.
All right. End of 1 inning. Tigers 1, Pirates nothing. The whole key with Casey Mize, I think, is whether or not he can stay healthy. But I'd say that, and then,
for a lot of pitchers,
I mean, they're ace. I mean, Turnbull, he's got to stay healthy.
No, Turnbull's gone. Tarek
Skubal has got to stay healthy.
Yes,
can he throw on as hard as he throws?
That's fair to ask.
And he missed part of last year to begin with.
2 years ago. Well, that's right. He did. He missed the end of 22 and then part of last year. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, I think they have some talent. Pitching, but
is Hinch going to screw it up because of his analytics?
Well, one of the early storylines in Major League Baseball is look at all of the standout pitchers who they're paying trillions of dollars to are all gone already on April 9th or before because they have arm injuries. And we've asked Shingles about this on Fridays, and it's a complicated issue because nobody can really put a handle on why. I mean, we've had the pitch clock blame. We've had the fact that they've pitched way too long as kids coming in, that they're trying to throw it through a wall, and on and on and on it goes. But why does it seem like there are more? The one that's really the tough one is Shane Bieber.
Oh, my goodness.
He absolutely just rolled through 2 games. He had a 0.0 earned run average.
And now he's got to have Tommy John again.
And now he's out for the remainder of the year.
And part of next year.
So
it's too bad.
And it may well be that. Now, Mize, of course, since being the Tigers' first pick, the angle on him is he just can never stay healthy. Now, in the first inning, he looked pretty good. He throws with tremendous velocity. He's another power pitcher.
He's got a great split-fingered fastball, but yeah, can he stay healthy?
But for all those guys the Tigers pitch, the one thing the opposition knows, we don't need to face this guy for 9 innings.
No, because Hinch is going to take him out after 5 or 6.
If I do nothing batting against the Tiger pitcher, at least let me get his pitch count up.
That's exactly, and that's what these hitters do.
Just let me get the pitch count up because he's going to be gone by the 5th or 6th inning if he gets all of us out because they're never going to let him go farther than that. Then we get into their bullpen and
then we have a chance.
We have a chance to win the game late.
Yep.
So, I think
it's not just the Tigers that do this. A lot of other teams do it too.
So,
which is part of the problem with Major League Baseball, which is why they've had to change the rules. Remember before the 3-batter rule for relief pitchers, you had these sabermetrics nerds changing pitchers every at bat in some cases. They want to get a good matchup here. And the Major League Baseball had to change the rules to stop these maniacs from lengthening the game even more.
All right. Now, it's my understanding, do we have a few items that are in on high school baseball around the area? Grand Ledge is 0-2 to start. Holt's 2-0.
Yeah.
Holt won for a couple of close games.
Okemos is what, 2-2?
They're 2-2. They lost to Detroit Catholic Central in a single game last night, 12-10.
Yeah, tried to play the second game, but couldn't finish due to darkness.
When Mason's won a few games now, Mason looks pretty good to start.
I think they're 3-1.
And
I think they're 3-1.
Well, I don't know. You were telling me something yesterday about Lansing Catholic. Look, in spring sports, getting any kind of reliable information on any of these teams is very, very difficult to do. It's hard enough with Michigan State because, the paper doesn't cover any of this stuff. And what I like about the paper is, Brock, is the paper's got the box scores of about 5 random high school baseball games and for 4 consecutive days. They don't put any dates on. They just whatever we got to do to fling it in there to fill up the space. It's just mind-boggling how off the rails the whole thing is. Now, whether part of that problem is that the high schools don't report this stuff very well.
I think that's part of it.
Which they don't. But, when you get to the spring, the newspaper just kind of thinks, well, winter's over. We're going to – I've seen the same thing as a subscriber in the paper for 3 consecutive days with no dates on it, no details, no records, no anchor, nothing. Just absolutely nothing. So that makes it difficult. So kind of word of mouth is the way we get most of this stuff moving forward. What else have we got tonight? Well, I guess the Pistons have 4 games left and they're at Philly tonight.
Yep.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't. But the Red Wings' biggest game of the regular season is probably tonight, playing Washington at home. Need to win this one. And, they need to win this one. They need 2 points tonight.
Now, Brock is watching what he considers to be the Tigers' biggest issue. Javi Baez is at the plate hitting a cool 167. And let's just say he's down in the Tigers' batting order with a $140 million contract.
It seems like it. It's not quite that much. He's got 3 years. He's got 3 years, $73 million after this year, after he opted in for the last 4 years of his deal.
So
was it? Yeah, it was 6 years, $140 million. I'm thinking of Rodriguez. Good Lord.
$140 million.
He's right in the middle of it.
And
he's lucky to stay alive.
So he's hitting 167. Now
he
it's
had
early.
a hit last night.
They've got a 3-game losing streak coming, and that's obviously one of the stories on the Sports Tonight at 6:20. Highlights.
And you'll have highlights of this.
We'll
game,
have all this stuff in reaction. Do we have Michigan State? I think we got a Michigan State football update today because this is week 4 of spring practice, heading towards April 20th, which sounds like April 20th in Spartan Stadium, which is taped delayed on the Big Ten Network, I think at 4 o'clock, will be little more than a glorified practice, but the fans get to go on the field afterward.
And Javier Baez just struck out.
Oh, well, that's, so some things don't change. ESPN radio programming is coming up next. Our You Pick 'em show tomorrow. Like Brock says, don't pick up a phone until you hear the Masters music, which will not come right off the top because usually we do a stage setter, a scene setter, if you will, and get to a break before we start taking your calls. Good luck on that. Masters, the par 3s tomorrow as well. You've been listening to the Sparrow Stout on Sports on Lansing Sports Station, the game 7:30 a.m. For Brock, I'm Tim. Thanks to all of you for being with us today. We'll talk to you tomorrow on our You Pick 'em show at 10:05. So long.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. It's sentencing day for the parents of the Oxford High School mass shooter who were both found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in a landmark case. The Oakland County Prosecutor's Office is asking the judge to impose a maximum sentence of 10 to 15 years for both James and Jennifer Crumbly. In West Michigan, a suspect who was running from sheriff's deputies after a car chase was hit by a patrol vehicle and was taken to the hospital. Kent County Sheriff's deputies tried to pull over what they suspected was a stolen vehicle, and the vehicle led them on a brief chase. Deputies say the vehicle ran off the road in Wyoming and crashed into parked cars. 2 people got out and ran on foot. The other suspect was arrested. A recession in 2024 is unlikely, but there's still a ways to go to reach a more stable economy. Brian Long of Grand Valley State University says housing costs need to stabilize to reach the Fed's inflation rate target.
Housing, which they call shelter, along with the cost of utilities, is about 40% of the CPI. And that 40% isn't coming down very fast. So to get to the Fed's target of 2%, the cost of rent has to stabilize and the cost of new and used homes has to stabilize.
Monday's eclipse is the last total solar eclipse in Michigan until 2099.
Jamie Basacci was watching the eclipse in Southfield. She was born in 1999 and is already gearing up for the next total solar eclipse that will come to Michigan in 2099.
Yep, my 100th year. I'll be here. Looking back, like I seen that back in 2024. Can't wait.
So what does she think made the eclipse such an unmissable event for so many of us?
Once in a lifetime experience. Well, not for me, like I said. So you gotta look at it. Get the glasses, take a look at it, see what there is to see. This is our world, you know? Gotta explore it.
Jay Dennis for the Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
In search of the perfect cut for your lawn? Join the pursuit by choosing from a full line of Steel mowers. From gas and battery options to zero turns and push mowers, Steel offers a wide range of mowing solutions for homeowners and professionals. Right now, get 0% financing on your purchase with a Steel zero-turn mower. Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com/mowers. Available at select dealers. Financing available on qualifying purchases and subject to credit approval. See dealer for details.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.